Kuhn is the fullback with the first and goal. Kuhn gets the ball. Pyle trying to make his way in for the touchdown. What a great second effort. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. I said so, I keep big bills up in my heart on the dirty like blood, so ain't got no twist in my head, but I'm still dreadful.
Wolfpack, what's going on? It's your boy, the Wolf of Roto Street. RotoStreetJournal.com. We breed and feed you fantasy wolves. Here with your Week 11 fantasy tailgate. Can't believe it. 4 weeks left in the regular fantasy season here. You don't need me to spell out how crucial a win is. Whether you're clawing to the top, trying to get in, whether you're trying to fight for that bye, whether you're trying to avoid last place, whatever it might be. Hopefully, if you tuned in here, you're not in that shitstorm of last place fighting. But either way, we're here to help you get those W's with your Week 11 sit start show. I, of course, am the Wolf at Roto Street Wolf on Twitter. With me, as always, on Sunday mornings, my man CJay getting ready for his soccer, the fake football over there, getting ready over there. But my man, how's everything going? How's the weekend been?
It's good. Can't complain. Weird but good college slate yesterday. It wasn't supposed to be good. It ended up being really good. But no top 5 team showed up. All that matters next week anyways. We got the World Cup starting today. Got everything going except for the NFL.
Tons and tons of action.
NFL's in a weird bye week stage. I don't know. I'm not feeling the vibes of the NFL today.
Oh, I love the vibes today. I texted you this morning. I've got it. I've got the lineup. I'm going to take it down today. Wolf will be retiring young and early, baby. Got the Millie coming your way.
This will be our last ever tailgate.
No, I'll be doing this only exclusively. I'll be doing tailgates every morning with the boys, just cracking open the tree houses.
Yeah, you'll just be hammered in like a Las Vegas suit.
It'll be all gone in a year, and then I'll be back to work for sure. But no, Wolfpack, we're live, ready to help you guys out in addition to watching me win the Millie today. We'll see. Nah, don't want to jinx it. Got to knock on the wood early here. But as always, we'll start with some Thursday night football takeaways. We'll hit some quick news. Today, there really are, I always kind of say there's not a ton of news. There's really only like 5 or 6 things we want to get through. And then it's on to your questions, Wolfpack. So we already see about 20 of them in there. Love it. Keep getting them in to like 15 before we got live. Always love to see you guys showing up before us. We'll obviously get the call-in line. I don't know if you mind commenting that in, CJ. The call-in line there for the boys. We know Craig Sarno and our guy David Campanelli probably waiting for that. Get those questions on in, and as always, we already saw a bunch of them come in, but those thumbs up button do continue to help us grow, especially right at the top here. If you're among the 20 to 25 with us to start the show, please do us a solid, hit that thumbs up, and then if you come in later, that's always so greatly appreciated. Let's talk, though, real quickly about some Thursday night football takeaways. I think the biggest one, the most important one for sure, is Christian Watson. Not looking like a fluke at this point. He had 6 targets, 4 catches for 48 and 2 touchdowns. At minimum, looking like a very viable red zone threat with that big 6'3" frame, using it well. He's got that deep speed, too, that we didn't even see come into play, and he still put up over 20 PPR fantasy points, 19.1 and a half. Definitely came through for those of you who started him on Thursday night. That was one of our biggest plays of the day. We kept saying, go to him, and he came through. Lazard was the target leader with 11 targets, but he only went 5 for 57. It did seem like Watson, toward the end of the game, they started to go to him, not just in the red zone, but a couple of those quick and intermediates. He was the one coming up with the big first downs, some big plays. So maybe we see him jump over Allen Lazard at this point as the number 1. Randall Cobb did return, got 6 targets, 6 catches, 73. That's kind of his ho-hum, like regular, low ceiling, but high floor type of output. I do like Cobb as a potential pickup this week, but still, Watson's the ceiling play. I tweeted out yesterday, and I still feel very strong about this every single year. There's someone who's done nothing at the wide receiver position, and then like the last 6-7 weeks of the year just goes ballistic. We saw St. Brown last year, A.J. Brown a couple seasons ago. It's often a talented rookie that did not get an opportunity. And when they finally get on the field, they get a chance to make some plays.
Always after the bye week, too.
Often off of the bye weeks, too, exactly, when they can scheme them in a little bit more. That looks to be the case with Christian Watson. He's my number 1 pick to be that blow-up. 2 other guys, though, and another takeaway from this game. One is Kadarius Toney. Tonight, I love the guy. He's my wide receiver 15 this week. Honestly, him and Watson, it's like 1A, 1B. I don't know which one I prefer as the blow-up guy down the stretch. Watson's 2 games in a row right now, so I'm kind of feeling good. But don't forget Toney tonight on 44% of the snaps, put up over 17 fantasy points, Now with McCole Hardman banged up, Juju out for at least this week, I think this is his game to take over as the wide receiver one for Pat Mahomes. He's probably my favorite bet as the guy that just goes bananas. Yes, he's not a rookie, but ultimately only a sophomore, looked great in his limited action as a rookie. I love him as a potential stretch run Harry. So Watson, Kadarius Toney. At this point, though, you probably missed the boat on those two guys. They're both over 70% rostered. Both were my top 3 pickups last week and the week before, had those guys mentioned frequently. If you missed on those guys, though, the other big takeaway from Thursday was Treylon Burks. 8 targets, 7 catches, 111 yards, making some great plays deep down the field. 51-yard bomb, beautiful catch along the sideline, but also some great run after the catch. That's what he was really hyped for. He also has that rookie-style skill set, just explosive after the catch, can obviously get deep as well. Could be Treylon Burks, and he's only 19% rostered. So to me, I don't even care what happens today. I'd be stunned to see anybody surpass Burks as the number 1 pickup for this week, and potentially that stretch run hero. I prefer the first two, again, Watson and Toney, but if it's not them, Treylon Burks, 19% rostered, a guy that I would love to have on my team entering next week. I think he could absolutely be.
I might have dropped him on Thursday.
Yeah, it would have been. Did you pick him up before the game started?
No. I dropped him on Thursday.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, come on. How would you do that? He was like the perfect. And I forgot. I always like to tweet out a tryout guy for those primetime games if your bench allows roster churn. I just forgot to before Thursday night started. He's like the perfect type of tryout guy, and that's when you hit it big when you have a guy like him on your bench. So big game from him. Definitely could be a precursor to what could happen. And that was against a good secondary too. So I really like Treylon Burks down the stretch as well. We'll see. Those are my 3 guys. Is there any other guys you'd see as like potential just stretch run hero wide receivers? CJ, I know I'm putting you on the spot, but those 3 to me stand out as like the clearest cut examples of what we've seen in the past. Do you think of any others?
I went right to my waiver wire to get Toney in every league I could. Burks, as I just said, I dropped him like a moron.
Yeah.
Well, no. You know what? You know when you have a guy on IR and you don't use him, he just sits on IR even though he's not on IR anymore.
Yeah.
I had that with Burks last week, and I just kept him, and I couldn't touch my roster for a week.
Yeah.
Like, shit, I need to like make a move, so I dropped him.
Oh, brutal. Hopefully you can get him back on the squad for sure. The only other guy, and it doesn't fit the bill kind of that we've been going over, but your boy Paris Campbell, I know he's a little bit older, but it almost feels like a rookie. The fact that he's lasted this long in the season. We know Matt Ryan loves Pepper in that slot.
First year playing more than 1 game.
Exactly, right. So maybe he's the guy. He already has had like 17 or more fantasy points in his last 3 games with Matt Ryan. So he's kind of already doing that, but still out there in a lot of leagues. So he's the only other name I'd kind of toss out there. Other than that, we knew Derrick Henry was a monster, 28 carries, 87 and touchdown, but also throwing for a score, 2 completions as well. A.J. Dillon, the one other takeaway I had from this game, is cuttable at this point. 13 yards on 6 carries, 1 reception, 10 yards. He's strictly a handcuff at this point, so I don't treat him any differently than like Jaylen Warren or, obviously Rachaad White at this point has come into his value as a handcuff. That's the only way you should look at Dillon, who's like 90% rostered compared to some of these other handcuffs. So if you need to expend him, you need to get rid of him, I think you absolutely could ahead of Sunday to do that roster churn type of thing. No interest in him, given that Jones, 12 carries, 40 yards, 6 receptions for 20. Nothing great there, but clearly dominating the snap share, the workload. Dillon is just a handcuff at this point. So definitely cuttable. And it's just not even that sexy of an offense for like a handcuff situation. Other than that, like Romeo Doubs doesn't have a great chance to return. So more ammo for Watson to continue his thing. Rodgers, 227 and 2 scores, just blah. No reason to really roster this guy if he can't do it against this secondary. When's he truly going to blow up at this point? A horrible ceiling right now. So that's all my Thursday night football takeaways. We do have, before we get into our news, a super chat, a quick way to jump the line, get ahead of things. Ryan Hemmings from across the pond with some pounds, generously supporting the show each and every week. We love it, Ryan. Thank you so much for your support. What can we do for you, brother?
Yeah, he's asking Fryermuth or Keenan Allen, or 2 of Keenan Allen, Everett, Warren, Hollins, Van Jefferson, Moore, Toney.
All right.
Yeah, go question by question.
These got to be separate leagues, I'm guessing. So we'll just rip through them all real quick for you, Ryan. I think I'm going to go Keenan Allen over Fryermuth. I will preface that by saying there is risk tonight that Allen doesn't play. Both those guys are expected to be in, Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. But Keenan Allen's like had more of like the preface, like it's up to the coaches, even though he wants to play. I think both are in. This is a huge game. They are in the playoff hunt. They need the W. I think we see both of these Chargers guys, and in which case, you got to go Keenan Allen in a good matchup, shootout style feel over Freiermuth, who, like very steady, nice floor for a tight end. But when we're going to the flex conversation, much, much higher ceiling with Keenan Allen, despite the lower floor even, which is crazy. Keenan Allen's a lower floor than Freiermuth. I got to go Keenan Allen here. Do you feel any differently there, CJ?
No, I love Keenan Allen. I've been waiting for this for
like
11 weeks. But,
it's a top 10 matchup for wide receivers too. Like it's just,
yeah.
You got to go for Keenan Allen's upside there. Freiermuth's a nice tight end.
I mean, if he's playing, we just have to assume that he's going to play.
Right. I mean, obviously stick to the notes and see, like, do we see any news on Keenan Allen? You got to have a backup plan ready because, again, we got to keep saying, like, he might not be there. I'm trying to think of, like, we got the Chargers and the Chiefs tonight. MVS is out there in a lot of leagues. Like, desperation-wise, Justin Watson would be like again, nobody owns him. So there's at least backup plans out there. McKinnon, 16% rostered. So there are options tonight. Then you're looking at the Cardinals and 49ers the next day. Like, not a ton of viability out there on the waiver wire. So you'd probably be looking to plug in McKinnon or Justin Watson if Keenan Allen can't go. Even then, though, is that much of a downgrade from Freiermuth? A great tight end, but it's such a gross position that there's very rarely I want to put two tight ends into my lineup. Then we're looking at two of Keenan Allen, Everett, unlikely to play, it seems, right now. So let's assume he's out, and he's not really that much worth waiting it out for. Although with these other options, I don't friggin' know. Keenan Allen, Warren, Hollins, and Van Jefferson. I think Keenan's, again, the lock here. Like, none of those other guys come close to his ceiling. I would have probably said Jaylen Warren, but a lot of news how there's going to be more involvement for Najee Harris. They liked what they saw, according to Ian Rappaport, on that game when they gave him 20 carries. So they're saying he's going to be even more involved, Najee, for whatever reason, despite the fact that Jaylen Warren looks way better. That makes him riskier, but all these other options are kind of hideous.
I'm a Matt Collins guy here, I think.
Are you against Denver, though? Denver's such a good secondary. Like, I guess Surtain will probably be shadowing Adams. Yeah. So that could open things up for Mac on the other side. Yeah, of these other options, I guess he's the best bet, but I don't like any of them. I'm trying to think of some like wide receiver Hail Marys. I mean, Darius Slayton's still out there in at least ESPN leagues, like over 80% of leagues in ESPN. So I like Darius Slayton more, maybe even Wan'Dale Robinson. Like Van Jefferson seems intriguing, but honestly, if I'm going to a Rams receiver, I kind of like your boy Ben Skoranek, CJ, over Van. Like he's going to play he's not Cooper Kupp, like Cooper Kupp role. Like he's not Cooper Kupp, but those are the routes he's going to run. So maybe he becomes the layup guy and we see like 7 to 8 catches out of Skoranek, even if he does jack shit about it. I mean, granted, never had more than like 50 yards per game as a fifth-year senior. There's nothing very intriguing about Skoranek other than
as I said, he played at Northwestern and
I get it.
He has to go to school. He can't go to practice all the time. He actually has to miss practice to go to school. He's a smart guy. I like him. He's white. Then Stafford loves white guys.
We know Stafford is racist, so it could end up going to him. That is true. So to me, I go like Keenan Allen, and maybe again Slayton would be my preferred option. I think he blows up today. DPJ, another guy out there in a lot of leagues, I'd prefer over any of these guys you're saying. Wan'Dale Robinson, but also Ben Skoranek, a pure desperation. If I'm going to the Rams, I probably prefer him there. Rondale Moore or Toney, I'm going to go Toney there. I love Toney today. I'm all in on him. So any sit starts on Toney. We'll talk about him later, but I'm all in on him. Jimmy G. Heineke or Goff. Good thing you gave us a super chat, Ryan. This is a loaded question. We're spending about 5 minutes for. We appreciate the support, brother. I'm going to go Jimmy G here. I just like solid floor, even though the ceiling's capped. The other two are just so up or down. So give me Jimmy G there. Do you feel differently on either Toney or Moore or Jimmy G versus those other guys?
No, I love Toney. I'm starting him where I have him.
All righty.
Although Heineke.
You're Heineke? My brother's in on Heineke today. I don't like it.
I like him so much. He just airs the ball out. He's fun to watch. Honestly,
he's fun to root for.
I think Jimmy G might be my least favorite out of these three.
Really? Oh, man. So I guess we're in a disagreement on the quarterbacks. I thought Heineke would be more fantasy friendly than he is. Like, I looked at his points so far. He's had 15, 15, 6, and then 1 20-point day. So it's been pretty low floor. I just think they're going to run the ball like 40 times with Brian Robinson, whether that's the best plan of attack or not. This is Houston. And they've actually been good against quarterbacks, not because they have a good defense, but all teams do is bleed them on the run, bleed clock. It goes fast. So to me, I'm going to go Jimmy G with just the best weapons, the best chance to maybe have an upside day there is where I lean, especially if Kyler plays and there's higher ceiling. So best of luck. Thank you for the support, Ryan. Pretty loaded question there. But that's why you support the site. So we appreciate it. Everett Scales with another super chat, and then we'll get back into the news, Wolfpack.
Olave, Toney, or Sutton. Pick 2 of these.
I think I'm benching Sutton, and I do like his spot today with no Judy, with a new coordinator taking over the play calling, Clint Kubiak, who I actually do like as a play caller. He got a little involved with the Vikings the last couple of years. I love Gary Kubiak, his dad. Who knows if that translates to anything, but I typically like those offenses, and they typically have been very generous to wide receiver ones. So I do think Sutton's going to get peppered with like 12 targets. I just really like Toney's situation this weekend with, again, no McCole Hardman, no Juju. Already was putting up over 17 fantasy points as a halftime player. Let's put him as a full-time player with Pat Mahomes in a good matchup, like a shootout-style feel. I like him. It does come down to Sutton or Olave to me. Weirdly, Toney is like the one I feel the best about of all these guys. Olave has had his ceiling capped by Andy Dalton. He's still averaging the most air yards per game. It's not a brutal matchup at all against the Steelers. No, it's not the Steelers this week. Who do they face? The Rams, who've actually been pretty generous to wide receivers too. Jalen Ramsey has not been Jalen Ramsey at all this year. So I don't know. I feel best about Toney. I'd probably go to Olave again, even though it's been a little ugly with Andy Dalton. I still feel pretty fine about him. What about you, CJ? Between these,
I'm with you there with Olave and Toney. I just can't do Russ anymore.
Yeah, it's been
never,
so.
I think we're just like almost like Kyle Pittsing him, where it's like, oh, we can still play his guys, but he just sucks.
No, he sucks.
The fact that he sucks.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked again. Sutton, new play caller, maybe him and Russ, and something happens. But when you have these two other good options, and you don't have to sit there and slug through a Broncos box score, like it is just so gross when you have to turn on the Broncos to see what's happening. It's so painful. So the one good game those two had, Russ and Sutton together, was against the Raiders last time. But I'm still very skeptical of those two. I will toss out again, Ryan, you did give us that super chat. One random stream that did come to me, and I want to bump him up in my rankings. We talk about the Broncos. Kendall Hinton is going to play the slot snaps today, and the Raiders are the stone cold worst against the slot of like the last 7 years. So Kendall Hinton, he had like 80 yards last week. Again, this is hideous, but like the guys you're asking about are hideous as well. So I wouldn't be shocked at all. Just toss this one out there. 3,600 guy on DraftKings. Like Kendall Hinton in a great matchup with no Judy should be about an every role player. He could end up finding pay dirt. Again, we're talking about rolling through the mud here, but that's where we're at with those type of guys. Alrighty, Wolfpack. Thank you again so much for those generous super chats. An easy way to cut the line here and get in front of the news that we're going to break down for you. Just want to make sure, I've gotten a bunch of questions and comments on YouTube and Twitter about like Bills players. I just want to make sure it's very clear to everybody. They are in a dome against the Browns, a bottom 5 matchup in pretty much every metric, a horrible defense, in particular, very, very susceptible to the big play, giving up the 3rd most deep yardage in the league. Like Josh Allen is going to go crazy today. I've gotten not many Josh Allen starts, but a lot about Gabe Davis, a lot about just their weapons. And it's just, I think a lot of people aren't realizing this isn't the 6 feet of snow anymore. That would be a perfect time to question this. When you get the Bills on turf, like what could be better than that? I also want to just make sure everyone knows I'm facing Josh Allen in over half of my leagues, and he's going to go crazy. That's how it goes. I know he's going to put up about 40 on my face today. So don't worry about your Bills at all. They are in a dome today. Perfect spot. Make sure everybody out there knows that. I think most of you, probably 95% of you do, but I have just seen plenty of comments about Gabe Davis versus some like nobodies. They're not in the snow. Don't worry about them. You're playing all these guys. They're going to go crazy against the Browns here. Kyler Murray is truly questionable, a game time decision for Monday. I think the only way you can play this if you want to wait it out for him, and Murray does have the upside to wait it out for. If it's like Murray or you got to put in Jacoby Brissett today, I think you wait it out and you pick up Colt McCoy. Now I don't know what that might cost you on the bench, so you do also have to weigh that, but you're probably costing yourself a bench spot to pick up Jacoby Brissett or some other crap Heineke that you guys were talking about. I'd rather wait it out for Kyler Murray and have Colt McCoy on my bench in worst case scenario, because Colt McCoy to me is the same as a Heineke, as a Brissett. Like he's been pretty decent as a streamer. I think you'd get a nice 15 to 20 points out of Colt McCoy. He's no different to me than any of those other shit bums you'd be starting in the place of Kyler Murray. So to me, it's worth it to get that bridge and just hope that Kyler plays. And if not, you at least have Colt McCoy there. That's how I'd play that one. Other than that, I don't think there's much quarterback news. Stafford was cleared, but still without Cooper Kupp, Scott Barrett did a good exercise in this. He's on the year averaging less than 100 yards and just about a touchdown, fewer than a touchdown per game if you took out Cooper Kupp's numbers from his passing yards and passing touchdowns. We already know Stafford's been abysmal, but he's been that bad without Cooper Kupp. To me, he's cut bait at this point.
And the Saints defense, I love.
Yeah, Saints defense is a great play today. 3K on DraftKings. I bumped them up pretty hard in my rankings today. They're starting two third-string linemen. Their line was already bad, and now they're down to 2 third-stringers. Their center's also questionable. I'm not sure if he's going to be in or not. It's ugly. Stafford's going to be getting eaten even without Cam Jordan on the field. I have no interest in Stafford. I'm playing Matt Ryan over him in a league, which is hideous, but 16-team league with Geno Smith on bye. What can you fucking do? No Matt Stafford. He shouldn't even be rostered at this point, honestly, with no Kupp. And Kupp probably unlikely to come back this year. We'll get to him in receivers. But looking like unless they get in the playoff hunt, which is not going to happen, Kupp is probably done for the season. So we'll cover that a little bit later. That's all our quarterback news. We got about 40 of you here with us, Wolfpack. Please do consider that thumbs up button. As promised, we will hit all of those questions, all those call-ins, keeping our eyes peeled for super chats as well to jump the line. But those thumbs up, when we got over 40 of you here, that's so awesome. Even just one quick thumbs up might bump us up to 50, 60, which we've seen in the past on these days. So come on, Wolfpack, give us a solid thumbs up, and especially new names out there. If you enjoyed the show, we're live 4 times a week. Please do consider subscribing to the channel. We've seen a bunch of you guys starting to come back, and it's so cool to see the new names that then repeat and come back later, which means we must be doing something right. So please do consider that, Wolfpack. Going to the running back news, we do have a couple quick notes, but nothing overly impactful. Ezekiel Elliott was listed as questionable, but he is expected to be available and probably expected to start at this point, which does make, unfortunately, Tony Pollard a bigger risk. He's been so damn good without Zeke, but I expect Zeke to probably lead this team in touches, whether he deserves it or not.
No,
if he doesn't.
Did you see the Tom Pelissero note?
No, I must have missed that one. What did it say?
Let me see. So Ezekiel Elliott returns today against the Vikings, but I'm told the plan is for Tony Pollard to get more touches as they ease Zeke back in with a brace.
Ooh. Okay, so I need to account for that in my rankings then, because I saw Zeke was back and I just immediately bumped Tony Pollard down to, I still had him as a top 20 running back, right around Jamal Williams, Antonio Gibson. But if Pollard's expected to remain the lead guy, that was the big risk with him. If I did not see that note, so that's a good one you caught there, CJ. I just assumed it was going to be Jerry Jones force feeding, like you must pay, like play the guy that I'm paying type of thing. But maybe they aren't going to, maybe they will buck that trend. So I have Pollard settling right in at running back 19 then, right around Devin Singletary, David Montgomery, just ahead of him, Gibson, Jamal Williams below him. That gives you any, Tony Pollard perspective there. That's where he'll end up landing in my rankings with that nugget there. In addition to that, Gus Edwards is not expected to play, barring any unforeseen pregame workouts that look really good that could change their minds. If it's that risky already, though, I imagine even if he does play, it would be severely limited. So we'll keep our eyes peeled, and you guys as well, as you always do for us. You see a note while we're answering questions about Gus Edwards officially in or out, please do comment it. We'll make sure to hit it. I'm sure my guy CJ will see it as well, but that never hurts. Either way, to me, it's going to be another Kenyan Drake week. He has been a beast without Gus Edwards on the field, and really just in general, even when Gus has played, like Drake just fits the scheme so well. Everybody out there knows I've always been a Kenyan Drake guy, for better or for worse. It's killed me sometimes, and it's made me a lot of money on different times, but I am big into Kenyan Drake today. He falls at running back 16 for me, just below James Conner. And honestly, I'm like, maybe I'd rather have Drake in than Conner. Maybe I'd rather have him in than Miles Sanders today. Over his last 4 weeks, 19-1, he had that dud where Gus Edwards came back, scored 2 touchdowns. But other than that, 19-1, 15, and 24. He's been a top 5 running back in 2 of his last 4 games, and top 15 in 3 of his last 4. I expect him to finish right again there. Carolina, 5th best matchup for running backs. Like Kenyan Drake, you're playing him today. You'd have to have a insane backfield to not have Kenyan Drake in your lineup. I'm plus 11 ECR on him right now, and I feel like that's moronic that they are that low on him. Like maybe he'll catch up because of the Gus Edwards news. Either way, love Drake. I love him at 5,900 on DraftKings. I'm hoping none of you steal that because he is going to be a great play. There's a lot of running backs in that range for those of you that are here for a little bit of DFS nuggets, like Singletary's 5,800. He's also a great play. The chalk right now is going to Montgomery at 6,100. I feel like both of those guys, Drake and Singletary, are great ways. Like I get Montgomery, as we know, another nugget to cover. Khalil Herbert's on the IR, so we know it's going to be the Montgomery show these next few weeks. But to me, he has the quickest path to failing when you got Justin Fields running for 160 yards a game. Definitely a good goal line vulture there. Fields is so good along the stripe. It's kind of like Josh Allen, where it's just like automatic. when they give it to him on the zone read at the goal line, he's getting in. He's a big boy. He's fat. Like, there's no stopping Justin Fields on the goal line in those running plays, whereas Montgomery's been getting his ass stuffed every time they give him a try. So to me, out of all those guys, I'm fading Montgomery. Obviously, in redraft, very good play today. He's my running back 17, but speaking DraftKings-wise, with the ownership going to him heavily, I'm preferring Drake and Singletary myself at a similar price range, even cheaper, save you a couple $100. Other than that, Deion Jackson's expected to be back, but to me, we saw 95% of the snaps go to Jonathan Taylor. Like, Jeff Saturday is here for the boys. He's here to get that line fired up. He's here to get his guy, The Rock. We saw it last week. And yes, the Eagles, a much tougher matchup. But against the Commanders, they were getting bled on the ground quite regularly by none other than Brian Robinson. You don't think Taylor can do some damage against them? So I actually really like Taylor as a contrarian play on DraftKings and in general, just a top 6 running back play. Set and forget. I've seen a few questions like, should we be worried about the Eagles? I mean, yeah, it's a tougher matchup than the Raiders last week, but you're playing Jonathan Taylor. We know our guy is going to feed him. Jeff Saturday is here. In the last couple notes there at running back, Najee Harris, as we alluded to, expected to get the bulk of carries. I still like stashing Jalen Warren, but this is the guy that the first guy up for me to cut for a defense or a kicker right now. I do like the handcuff potential, but it seems to me like he might be losing if this is actually true. Rap Sheet's been wrong about these things before, but if they are actually going to give everything to Harris and Jalen Warren no longer has that standalone appeal, he's strictly a handcuff similar to A.J. Dillon. Gibson's also been removed for the Commanders from the injury report. Him and Brian Robinson in a great spot, the best run defense matchup for running backs, by 15. It's insane. I think they're allowing 30 more yards than the next closest Chargers. In terms of rushing yards allowed, it's over 150. I think half of the weeks this season, the number 1 or number 2 running back has faced to the Texans. So not that I think Brian Robinson or Gibson will be the number 1 or 2 running back. It's just too much of a committee. But both of those guys are very, very viable today. So let us know if you have Robinson or Gibson questions, but both of them, particularly Robinson at 5,300, 26 carries last week. I love him. To me, he's I recommended Jeff Wilson very, very hard last week. I think he is 10,000 times the player of Brian Robinson, but I think Robinson's in that similar spot where he could see 20 carries and just go for 102 touchdown type of deal there. So that covers the running back notes. Are you playing either? The Commanders are probably the trickiest of those guys, CJ. Are you just avoiding that backfield completely, or because of the matchup, were you willing to go to those guys?
No, me and Ty have an absolute hammer play going today on that bet. Every single week we go against the Texans. It works every single week.
It never fails, right?
Not that the rest of the week is good, but today we have a Brian Robinson anytime touchdown, Brian Robinson over 50 yards, and Antonio Gibson over 30 yards.
Love them all. Hammer it.
That's plus 230, so 100 to win 230.
Just there's one separate bet. You're just kind of
all together up to hit.
Yeah. So parlay like that plus 230. Yeah. I like it. Good deal. I think that's gonna always bet against.
Every single week we look at who's facing the Texans and we just have to play.
Exactly. That is a legitimate foolproof bet at this point. The only way that would ever fail is the Texans get up big early. That's never going to happen, though. They fucking suck. So, no, I love that bet. I think that is a great one there. Moving on to our wide receiver notes. I guess the one other one is Swift is, quote-unquote, kind of pushing through right now, still dealing with stuff. He's a full in practice. He's not even on the injury report. But apparently, he's coming out and telling the media, I'm actually still hurt. There just seems to be some real rift between, Swift and the team and his ability to tough it out or not complain. And I don't think this is going to help out the fact that he's saying something different than what the team's putting out there. I mean, he got the same, whenever you have Justin Jackson behind DeAndre Swift, you got to make sure he gets the same amount of snaps and carries, right? I have a really hard time trusting Swift, even though he does such a great playmaker. I mean, get him to the Chiefs. Swift could be so deadly somewhere like that. And to me, he's just so tough to trust right now. I prefer both of the Commanders guys. I definitely prefer Kenyan Drake. Tony Pollard. I'd have a really hard time. Let us know if you do have a question about Swift, but he is very, very tough to trust, in my opinion. Moving to the wide receivers, and then we got 2 quick tight end notes, and then it's on to all of your questions. Wolfpack. Devontae Adams questionable for Week 11 against the Broncos, but he is expected to play according to Rap Sheet this morning. It is a tougher matchup, but it's still Adams. You can't bench Adams. It's just more so DraftKings-wise. Maybe you go to Diggs, Jefferson. If you're paying up for a wide receiver, it's probably not Adams, and maybe that's why he'll be a tournament winner, because a lot of people will have that same mindset. I just don't know if I want to trust him at less than 100% in a really, really tough spot. Jamar Chase is not playing, as you guys are likely well aware. There's a lot of reports coming out he should be back or could be back in week 12, but the fact that we didn't see a single practice, some reports that he was still on crutches, it's tricky to know. They still do. The Bengals have the best schedule down the stretch run here. So if you are in you have some wins that you could maybe take an L or two heading into the playoffs, I still think it makes great sense to try to pluck Jamar Chase if their trade deadline has not passed yet. We already know Juju is not playing. Mecole Hardman's also on the IR. So just to reiterate from the top, the headline of this show, Kadarius Toney is a smash. He's a top 15 wide receiver. I'm plus 10 spots on the ECR. Actually, 14, I think. I'm all in on him. I think Toney is going to go bananas tonight. We keep repeating the stat, but he had 17 points last week, only playing 44% of the snaps. They have no choice but to make him an every snap player. And I don't think it was a question about ability. It was just more so getting him acclimated with the offense, getting him rolling. I am all in on Toney today. I think he's going to have 20 or so fantasy points. Very few people I would have above Toney in my sit start. So again, let us know any Toney questions. I will guarantee I'm probably going to go Kadarius Toney ahead of either of the Chargers tonight, ahead of a ton of people. I'm huge on him. Am I nuts, CJ? Like, am I going too in on this Kadarius Toney pool?
No.
Alrighty.
Actually, I just started him over Donta Foreman in one of my leagues.
I like it. Even though we got 31 carries for Foreman, like that's game flow dependent.
It's so game flow dependent.
Against the Ravens. Yeah, I'm with you there. So I'm all in on Toney. Let us know again if you have a Toney question. This is already was kind of like last week was the preview of the coming out party. Again, 17 points on less than half the snaps. You just see how well Andy Reid designs these guys. You just gotta see him get that quick shovel pass. You're like, he's all in. He's gonna do anything he can to get the ball in this guy's hands. He's so explosive. I truly think he's a better player than Juju. So I wouldn't be shocked at all to see him take over that true number one receiver role from both of those guys. Him and Travis Kelce, just like he's not Tyreek, but man, like. Did you see the clip, CJ, with Travis Kelce, where he was like, how the hell did the Giants let this guy get away? Like, he is so explosive and just has the wherewithal, and kind of has that it factor.
Yeah, he's smart. He does everything. Like he's
like, how did he follow the favor? I have no idea.
I thought he was kind of like just like pumping his tires for no reason, but he actually was very sincere about it too.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like he seems very genuine about it. So and to me, it seems like the Chiefs love him, and they're just shocked that they were able to even get him in the organization, especially for the price they paid. Don't be shocked if he has like 20 plus points tonight. I love Kadarius Toney tonight and just moving forward. If you got him on the waiver wire, I think you got yourself, again, him, Christian Watson, Treylon Burks. One of those three, if not all three of them, are going to be those stretch run wide receiver heroes. Treylon Burks, the only one widely available at this point, but hopefully you got at least a couple of those guys now starting in your lineups at this point. Mike Williams and Keenan Allen were listed as questionable, but according to Schefter, both are expected to play. Keenan Allen did have the nugget added to his that he plans to play, but the coaches will make the final call. So a little bit riskier there. Still gives you a reason to roster Josh Palmer in case one of those guys is out or something flares up. Like he's the ultimate wide receiver handcuff. Obviously, with both of the guys out, it was a better spot. But even with just one of them out, Palmer's still a pretty viable threat. Maybe even more viable, honestly, when he's drawing number 2 cover than number 1. So I still like stashing Josh Palmer. Were you saying something or did I just hear a noise?
No, we just got a video chat.
Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, we got our guys waiting in the that must have been what that noise was. All right. Jerry Jeudy's out this week. As mentioned, if you're purely desperate. So I want to wrap up the Chargers receivers. If you have them, obviously again, you need a backup play tonight, but I love these guys. Shootout style matchup today. You'd have to have a really, really good reason to bench them. Both guys falling into my top 25 wide receivers for the week. It's just such a good game atmosphere tonight. I can't wait. I love when we get a good Sunday night primetime game like this. Good for the showdown. Good for everything. Jerry Jeudy is not playing. As mentioned, if you are very, very desperate, like Kendall Hinton, he played well last week in his absence. He's going to get most of the slot snaps against the team that is the worst against slot receivers from the last 7 years. It's more of a DFS punt to me, 3,600. But still, if you're desperate, like some of the questions we got that super chat earlier, Hinton's really not bad to consider. I would prefer Isaiah McKenzie, who's not on the final injury report. I do like him at 4,400 on DraftKings as well. Definitely a guy that's always a threat to find the end zone in this explosive Bills offense. So he's another guy I should have tossed out there that I don't mind as a streamer at all this week. I don't mind Wan'Dale Robinson, who's optimistic to play. We haven't got the official report there. But it seems like he had a quick little hamstring flare-up, but ultimately it was not a big deal. He's back at practice on Friday. He's expected to suit up. I'd prefer Darius Slayton of those receivers, but he is not a bad option. Josh Reynolds is not expected to play, so it does give you a Khalif Raymond. Those type of desperation plays are also out there for you guys, but not anything I'm truly going after. And again, as mentioned, Cooper Kupp is expected to miss at least 6 to 8 weeks, and that really just puts him right up against the last week or two of the season. So at that point, 3-6 the Rams are right now. If they kind of fall out of playoff contention, which they very likely will, Cooper Kupp is probably not going to see the field again. My guess is he doesn't play at all this year. And the last receiver note here, Odell Beckham expected to wait until after Thanksgiving to pick his new home. I keep thinking like, oh my God, I can't keep this guy on my bench.
He's visiting the Cowboys and Giants next week.
Oh, baby. I love both of those spots. Those are actually probably my two preferred spots at this point, where it'd be the number 1 for the Giants, an explosive number 2 for the Cowboys. I love both those spots. So he says he's going to wait till after Thanksgiving, but clearly you're already in talks, already having some visits. And the Cowboys have consistently been linked to this guy. Jerry Jones saying he'd look good in the Cowboys blue and all that, and he would. I'd really like him in that offense. So I keep thinking like, oh, after Thanksgiving, like I'm waiting a long time now. Thanksgiving's next fucking week. Like at this point, you have to. If you stashed Odell Beckham, you're waiting it out at this point. And if you haven't, go pick him up right now. Like he's still out there in 60% of leagues. It's well worth it for your stretch runs to see where this guy lands. He had a touchdown in every single game but one once he got traded to the Rams. So explosive still. I know he's coming off his second ACL injury. Like who knows if he'll still be Odell, but sometimes these freak like athletes just they have a different level of recovery. So that's where we're at wide receiver. I did get a note that Austin Furster super chat us. Thank you, David, for continuing to track that for us. Let me find where that is. Austin, you got it right there? Oh, yeah. Perfect.
So he's asking full PPR start one of these. Freiermuth again, Ben Skoo, Terrace Marshall, or Antonio Gibson.
Oh, I got to go Gibson. Like Gibson's far and away the best option there for me. The matchup versus the Texans, like it just doesn't get any better than that. No JD McKissick too. So he hasn't really been Gibson, a monster target hog like I was really hoping to, but still he's definitely the guy that's in there on third downs, in there in passing situations. So I love Gibson just as the running back here against the worst run D in the league, but really like Marshall, Skoranek, like game flow could be good for those guys. And Muth does have a nice floor, but I feel like Gibson has like a ceiling and a floor that the others don't match at this point. Do you feel any differently, CJ?
No, we already talked about this. We love the Commanders backfield this week. Better go Gibson here.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Austin, so much for your. That wasn't a super chat. That was a
no,
regular.
He super chatted below it.
Oh, he super chatted below it. So that's probably what the question is. If there's another one, we'll keep our eyes peeled, Austin. But thank you so much for your generous super chat. We're moving on to tight ends, and there's only a few quick notes. Mark Andrews was full participant in Friday's practice and well listed as a game time decision. He is expected to play according to Adam Schefter. I love him, obviously. Number 2 tight end behind only Kelsey. Number 1 tight end on the DFS slate. He's only 6,800 on DraftKings. That's the wide receiver 10 price. But he's been playing, if you did his numbers in terms of points, as the wide receiver 6 on the season. Plus you get it at tight end, which is so invaluable given how bad tight end is. I love jamming him into my lineups today. And no Gus Edwards too, maybe even more upside in the red zone for Mark Andrews. He's a hammer play. Obviously, in your seasonal, you're playing Mark Andrews, but even on DraftKings, coming in at low ownership right now, according to projections, I love him. I'm absolutely in love with getting him into my lineups. The only other guy I'm actually playing a ton of in DFS, and it's more of a run back, is David Njoku. He's expected to play after practicing throughout the week. We'll keep our eyes peeled just in case he's ruled out. But he's a top 7 tight end for me because he's been the tight end 6 so far on the year when he's in there. 4th among tight ends in yards per route run. Definitely a game where they're going to be chasing points. The Bills are pretty good outside the wide receivers. They've given up the 7th most catches to tight ends on the year, though. I absolutely love David Njoku in this matchup. If he's in, he's right back into my starting lineups where I have him. And he's right into, again, my top 7 tight ends for the week, especially with Gerald Everett. He was removed from the injury report and then added back on Saturday. And that's never a good thing when they go backwards like that. I would, at this point, expect Everett not to be in. So, like, for example, I'm going to Greg Dulcich. I don't like it. He came fucking up negative last week for me. I hate that motherfucker. But yet I have to go back to him because I can't sit and wait it out for Gerald Everett tonight. I guess if you did, you could go to, like, Trey McKitty, who would be his direct backup. Maybe he finds the end zone, something disgusting like that. But I'd rather play Dulcich, who has had 11 plus points in 3 of his last 4. I'm trying to swallow back my puke going back to the Broncos. But I would not expect to have Gerald Everett. Last quick injury notes on the defensive side of things and kicker side of things. Hopkins is doubtful. He's not going to play. I love the fact that you can get Cameron Dicker, the kicker, later tonight. That gives you all the tryout space you need. He's at 8 and 12 points in his only 2 games so far with the Chargers. He's money. I don't know why they just don't go to this guy full time because Hopkins is a little bitch. I love Cameron Dicker. He continues to come through in fantasy and for the Chargers. So he's also the great play that you can, again, wait it out for till tonight. In worst case, you can always go to Prater on Monday if somebody else scoops him from you. Minka Fitzpatrick, brothers in appendicitis, baby. He is off the injury report. What a warrior. We're just built different, me and Fitzpatrick here, back off the IR as fast as can be together here. But, man, what a great addition to have him back. I'm actually stunned that he's off the injury report because I was told I wasn't allowed to, lift weights for 2 weeks. Yet Fitzpatrick is out there just hammering his body against other people. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. It seems unsafe. But if he's good to go, I felt really good after a week.
You did the Sunday show.
I did, exactly. I was heavy contact on the Sunday show, baby, right after. Even from the hospital bed. You can't stop me. You can't stop Fitzpatrick. No appendix, no faulty organs are going to stop either of us. So just another note. That's why I love they're only 20% rostered right now, the Steelers defense. With TJ Watt back in there, they are a great unit. They had 25 points against this Bengals team on the road last time. They have definitely the Bengals have come a long way since then, but still, I really think they're a great player. They're only 2,300 on DraftKings as well. Browns did lose a cornerback, Greg Newsome, their top corner right now, so another reason to love Josh Allen and the Bills on the turf. Marshawn Lattimore is again out against the Rams, so maybe I don't know, Skoranek, Allen Robinson. I don't know. I don't like any of them. Cameron Jordan is out for the Saints, even though I still love that defense. Those are 2 big injuries there, and Chase Young is not going to be in this week, but the Commanders still make a nice plug and play against the Texans. my mind blank there. And then Dallas Goedert just came out today that he is going to be on the IR. We knew that already, but he is expected to return. So he does make sense to stash if you have those IR spots for your fantasy playoffs. Jake Stoll, I believe, is the guy filling in for him. And it's just a nice role. Any piece of this offense isn't bad. And especially at 2,500 on DraftKings against a funnel defense that is good against outside receivers, the Colts, but very bad against tight ends, bottom 5 right now. You could do worse for 2,500 on DraftKings today. And if you're really desperate for a tight end, he's a top 15 play for me this week. All righty, Wolfpack. That wraps up all our news and notes. We do have a super chat from Maddie B that just came into us that we want to make sure to hit. Where did we go? Matt B right here. And then Pasta Prince, we see you with that $5 super chat. Guys, thank you for being so generous today. Wolfpack, as we hit these, a free way to support the site is that thumbs up button with over 50 here. That does help us continue to grow and sub and seeing a ton of new names out there. Would love to have you guys join the pack as we climb towards 3K. We're not too far away from about 100 away at this point. Would love to have you join full-time for us. But let's start with Matt B. Thank you so much. You're a regular super chatter for us. It's so greatly appreciated. It's not unnoticed. What do we got for you?
Yeah, so we've kind of discussed both these guys a little bit. Brian Robinson or Donta Foreman. I think Commander's game could be close, and Foreman's in a negative game script.
Yeah, so I'm actually adjusting my rankings as we speak because I do prefer Brian Robinson. The worst run D. This guy just had 26 carries. Eyeball test, he doesn't look good. And I don't want to insult the guy. I mean, he got shot. The fact that he's even playing this year is absolutely insane. But he hasn't looked good. He's looked no better than a plotter. I don't care, though. When you have 26 carries against the worst run defense in the league, that's going to set you up for about 80 yards and a touchdown. I feel like the floor is really good despite the low-end talent of Brian Robinson, the player, at least as of right now. I love the 31 carries we saw for Donta Foreman. He's got 2 huge games in his last 3, but you look at the one game he didn't have, it was because he got game flowed out of it, and I absolutely think the Ravens pour it on this horrible team. I think Baker Mayfield absolutely sucks. So I'm not interested really in Foreman, at least if I have an option like Robinson. It is my running back 22 versus 23, but I actually just flipped them to have Robinson a little bit higher, and I go Robinson over Foreman. I think you agree, right? We already talked about this matchup.
Yeah, I'm avoiding Foreman. I mean, I'm starting Kadarius Toney over him. So.
Yeah, I mean, you know my love for Toney. I would 100% do that over either of these two guys, but if it's to these 2 running backs, yeah. I think we're reading it the same way, Matt B. Good luck. I will say this, Foreman looks like a really good player. Like, he's one of the few running backs that has ever come back from an Achilles and actually looks good. He looks explosive. He's got great vision on his cuts. I really like what Foreman's showing right now. I just don't. I mean, it's so hard to like anything to do with the Panthers when they have Baker Mayfield playing. I think it's definitely going to be a negative script. And who knows who comes in at that point. So, yeah, we're both in on the Robinson train today, Matt B. Good luck today, brother.
Pasta Prince is asking in these two receivers, standard league. Garrett Wilson, DJ Moore, Tyler Boyd, Myers, Deontay Johnson.
A lot of guys in the same tier here. So really tough to sift this one through, Pasta Prince. Thank you so much for the support. Standard league definitely bumps down a few of these guys that are a lot more viable. Like Jacoby Myers, for example, great PPR threat. Don't want him in standard. He scores very minimal touchdowns. I feel like I'm leaning Tyler Boyd. It's tricky between Garrett Wilson and DJ Moore. I don't like Deontay. He's another guy that gets a really bumped down in standard with minimal touchdown ceiling this year, at least with Kenny Pickett. Garrett Wilson has been absolutely money the last 2 weeks, averaging, the 8th most points among wide receivers in fantasy points per game. I don't love this game, though. I don't like the script. Like, I like Garrett Wilson, the player, a lot, but I don't know. It doesn't feel great to me. DJ Moore, though, with Baker Mayfield has just been absolutely hideous. He hasn't topped 13 fantasy points in a single game with Baker Mayfield. I just like that matchup against the Ravens, a bad secondary. They're going to need to chuck it. I think I'm going Boyd as my favorite here, even though, again, he's a better PPR guy than standard. Steelers are, we said the Raiders were the worst team in 7 years against the slot. The Steelers are the next team behind them. Really, really bad against the slot receivers so far this year, too. So I like Boyd. No Jamar Chase. Definitely has blow-up potential. And then I think I'm going to go DJ Moore, even though I don't love him. In standard leagues, none of those other guys really appear to me.
Deontay over Moore. I like the Boyd call, but
no, not in standard leagues.
I can't trust Baker.
Moore hasn't even scored a touchdown yet this year. I mean, Deontay rather. Like,
hey, things can change.
He's due, obviously, but I don't know. I don't think so myself. I'm leaning DJ Moore, and I don't love it, but that's where I am for this one. I don't know. Oh. It's tough with Baker. Absolutely. It's so crazy that, again, no games over 13 points with Baker. And then he has 2 19-point days with 3 starts for PJ Walker. Like, we know the ceiling's there. It's the player, not it's the talent around him that's hurting him, not the player itself. I think maybe they just do everything they can to try to repair that connection. It's a risk, but to me, he's the best in standard league, the best chance to score a touchdown alongside Tyler Boyd. If you didn't want to go to DJ Moore, though, and I totally understand it, Garrett Wilson would be my next man up in a standard league. He's been running real hot. No Corey Davis today. So I do like him a lot. But Pasta Prince, best of luck. Those would be the 3 I'd consider. Again, Tyler Boyd, then DJ Moore, then Garrett Wilson is how I rank him out. I'm not with you, CJ. I'm not in on Deontay Johnson, especially not in a standard league right now. All righty. Let us then get to our call-ins, folks. We got David Campanelli, as always, the #1 call-in fan with the future Wolf himself. I love it. There we go. Cheers. The good luck charm.
What's going on, boys?
Guys, it took this long.
Our fans have sucked more than any side in the world.
Well, I don't.
Babies.
She only turned 4 months yesterday, so
congratulations. What's her name again?
Carmela.
Sweet Carmela Campanelli. Yep. Oh man, I love it.
Yeah, little Sopranos.
Sopranos toss out there, yeah.
So I'm in a little conundrum here, boys. I need to get Kadarius Toney in, but I have Pickens and Curtis Samuel, so I need to take one out for Toney.
Yeah, Pickens and Curtis Samuel. What's the scoring settings?
It's standard with I hate the commissioner, but it's like first downs. You get like a point or something.
Okay.
Instead of PPR.
Yeah, I definitely have Toney above either of those guys. So first note is you're benching either one of them for him.
Samuel's my bench.
You like Samuel? He's definitely a first down.
No, he's my bench.
Oh, he's your bench. Okay, I was gonna say I definitely have Pickens higher. I like Pickens. No Awuzie there for the Bengals. Their top corners down. We've seen we had that one goose egg for Pickens, which is scary. There's definitely a scary floor there. But otherwise, since Pickett took over, he's been their #1 guy. And not even in volume, just in playmaking. I like it. I think they're gonna. This game has the potential to light it up. Yeah, I'm going Pickens there too. Even though Samuel, that first down rule does make it a little interesting because he's been a big chain mover for that team. But I like Pickens. I have him 6 spots ahead of Samuel. And again, Toney, I have him like 10 spots above either of those guys. So I'm all in on Toney tonight. Awesome. I feel really good about that.
I love that. And then I know Pollard has moved up in the rankings, but I do have Pacheco in the back, like on my bench right now. Would you move Pacheco in over Pollard or ride the hot hand with Pollard right now?
I'm keeping it with Pollard. Just the talent is so damn good with Tony P. Pacheco's in a nice spot for a tryout. Like Chargers are giving up the second most yards in the league behind only the abysmal Texans right now. So it's a good night to have him, see what happens. And he's not a bad starter, but Pollard's just been so good that if he is going to get that lion's share tonight, he only needs one play to pop a 70-yarder. And it's not like the Vikings are all that good. That game has that shootout style game of the week type of feel to it. Like I want any pieces I can. And I think Pollard's a good one. I go Pollard there, CJ. What about you?
Yeah, I'm with Pollard. I'm starting him. Just gonna keep
CJ, how's that 2-0 Qatar game?
It's great actually. I have the goal scorer.
Oh, do you have the PrizePicks there? Yeah, baby. Cash out some 500 to play with today.
He scored 3 times, and they already called one off in the most corrupt thing I've ever seen in my life. Almost fell over.
Oh, man.
And thanks, guys, for all the help. You also have a super chat from Rico Baptiste.
We'll hit that next. Thanks for the call-in, as
Have
always.
Have a good one, guys.
Thanks for bringing Carmela to the stream. Unreal. Unreal. Love it, Carmela.
We'll see you tonight, boys. Bye.
Cheers, Campanelli. Best of luck today. All righty, we'll hit Rico Baptiste here. What do we got?
He's asking, will Rachaad White take over the backfield?
Ooh, great question, Rico. I think absolutely. There's already been rumblings. He started, first of all, like was the starter, which was great. It might have been just in name. Fournette ended up playing a good amount of splitting the snaps there. And then he went obviously down with the hip injury, which he's expected to ultimately be ready for after this bye week. It sounds like Fournette will be back. But, man, like it looked bad. Like he had ice all over his body, kind of like a robot with all the ice on him. And I think the team was already kind of trending towards using White more and more and more. He's looked better than him, especially last week. I mean, what was it, 22 carries and 105 yards? Like their first 100-yard rusher, I think, on the year. Great pass catcher, too. We keep reminding you guys that, he was our waiver wire pick. So I have all these stats like memorized at this point because I talked about him for legitimately 10 straight weeks till this exact scenario happened. But top 5 in terms of PFF's like all-time grades among receiving backs was with like Kamara and Christian McCaffrey and some of these elite pass catching backs, Eckler, like just in that range in terms of PFF grades and all that, like in terms of yards per route run, all these insane metrics. So yes, I think this guy's an insane talent. I think he fits exactly what they want to do. It seems like they have officially gained the trust of, like the team has gained his trust. Like White's gained the team's trust rather at this point, Brady's trust at this point. So with Fournette, like being their kind of their playoff horse, the guy, playoff Lenny, I really think White takes this over is what I'm getting at. And it might be a 60-40, a 55-45. So I don't know exactly how valuable that ends up being. But again, Fournette's missed time in every single professional season, including 3 or more games in all but one season. So whether it's because of injury or whether it's just because he's outplaying him, I do think White takes over this backfield. That was pretty long-winded, but CJ, do you see it the same way as me?
And that's what we all want, too. Of course, PrizePicks tags would say the exact same thing. I see him waiting in the chat. we're all waiting for Rachaad White. We've been stashing him for 11 weeks, and the time is done.
Here it is, baby. We saw it all in that Germany game. We saw why he's going to take over this backfield. So, yep, we are all in agreement here, Rico. White's taking over that backfield. All righty. We got our man Kevin always calling in on our Sundays, typically getting his large iced coffee from Dunks. What's going on, Kevin?
Just got out of the drive-thru.
Look at that.
As on brand as it gets. All aboard the
I
white
love
train
it. I
as well.
love it. See, my foresight does not just come to fantasy football. I know the habits of all the wolf pack out there. I love it. What's going on, my man?
This one's probably a really easy one for you, but the last week I lost by 1.5 points because Jalen Hurts' interception. So it's got to make sure I have this one right. So we have
what a heartbreaker.
We got to pick 2. It's PPR. I got Toney, I got Pittman, and then I have the combo of Palmer and Mike Williams. So whoever, if he's out, go Palmer. If he's in, go Williams.
Yeah, to me, I'm benching Pittman here. I think they're going hard on the run here. Plus, he's got the Darius Slay shadow today. So to me, it's definitely Toney. We know that. And then whatever Charger it ends up being, to me, it's Mike Williams if he's in, of course. And if he's out, yeah, you just slide on in Palmer. Pittman does not appeal to me at all. With the shadow matchup, he hasn't seen a target more than 15 plus yards since week 1. Like, just a gross, like, yeah, it's dink and dunk, and he gets his catches in a PPR league. But to me, Paris Campbell's kind of the guy you want there at this point. So, yeah, we're benching Pittman. Do you feel the same way? Is that where you were leaning?
Yeah, I thought you were talking to CJ. Yeah, definitely. That's what I'm thinking at least. But yeah, I had Henry going, so I have a solid floor to
nice.
Up on.
Nice. Henry just steamrolling. What a monster. Good stuff, Kevin. Well, yeah, I think definitely benching Pittman there. We shall see.
All right, thanks, boys. Have a good one.
All righty. Best of luck, Kevin. Thanks again for the call-in. All righty, and we got Fire Byron Leftwich looking great in the gear over there. What's going on, Danny Higgs?
Boys?
Cheers. Happy Sunday.
Cheers. Happy Sunday. All right. Fantasy-wise, flex. This kind of segues right into Michael Pittman. Right now, I got Pacheco in there, but I got Pittman and Elijah Mitchell, which I was, like, contemplating. Pittman hasn't scored since week 1. I know everything you just said about Slay and how they're going to be run heavy, but up is down this year and fucking everything. And I feel like Pittman could have a decent day. It's full PPR, so I don't know. But I also like Pacheco because he seems to have taken control there, and it's going to be probably a high-scoring game. So I don't know.
It's a really bad run D to the Chargers. Like mentioned, they only team giving up more yards per game on the ground is the Texans, and they're like historically bad this year. So I think it's a great matchup for Pacheco, especially if they get a nice game flow where they can get him going late. They're really the only thing missing with him right now is the goal line work. Because even though CH didn't have a single stat last week other than 2 targets, he still was getting the red zone snaps. I don't know if that continues, though. It seems like ultimately we'll get phased out. So if we get Pacheco involved in the goal line, like that's where he could end up being like a viable high-end running back too the rest of the year. I'm big on him rest of the season, and I think this is a good matchup for him to start really getting going. Definitely could break a long one. They're definitely giving up a ton of big plays to the backs as well. So I lean Pacheco there. I'm not into Pittman. I know, as you say, like anything can fucking happen this year. That's what's made these calls so tough this year is you think it makes sense, and then what doesn't make sense is what ends up happening. But Pacheco seems to make a lot of sense. I like Eli Mitchell in those 18 carries. And they could end up getting up big if Colt McCoy's the one starting there, in which case that's where it happens.
What was that last week?
I don't know.
What the fuck? That was so – I went 0 for 5 in that PrizePicks thing that I said. I was like, oh, Christian McCaffrey needs like fucking 40 yards or something. And it was like Eli Mitchell show.
It was
cost
horrible.
Me like fucking $1 million last week.
Exactly. So to me, this is how my read on what that was. And it's just a guess. They got big up. They got up big early. They had the guy coming off the IR, and like it gave him almost like the perfect opportunity. Let's get his feet under him. Let's kind of feel out Mitchell, see what we got here. They had no reason to run McCaffrey to the ground. So in close games, I think it's going to be like 80% McCaffrey, minimal Mitchell. But in when they start getting a 2-touchdown lead or so, which they had again most of the game last week and could happen theoretically this week, I do think Mitchell's a threat for 15 to 20 carries, which sucks. As a CMAC owner, I'm worried that he's just going to be potential game flow dependent right now. So we will see. But it's a lot to bank on. I think Pacheco's the similar player. So I'd rather just go for the starter and the guy in the better offense to me is where I lean. What are your thoughts, CJ, on that one?
I mean, I don't really you kind of like answered almost my question where I didn't really know where to go with that.
Yeah.
Pittman would be my last option out of the 3. In my opinion.
Yeah, even in PPR, it's tough.
And I usually I lean the running back usually, and you're going to go with the starter over a backup.
The bozos in my league let me pick up Pacheco and Elijah Mitchell last week on waivers. So
2 great running back pickups there.
Oh.
Hey, I know you probably got some prize picks for us. You mind if I real quick? We had 2 generous super chats. I'm going to pull them in. You're welcome to answer them with us if you want.
Sure.
But I want to make sure these people, as we always promise, when you get your super chats in, we pull them right up. So let's get that. Then we'll hit some, of course, prize picks for you guys, and then we'll mow through the rest of these questions. Starting with Timothy Gray. What do we got, CJ?
All right. Who would you sit out as Sutton, Olave, Gabe Davis, and Debo?
Man, Tim, great. Who is it for you?
Sutton.
Yeah, I think it's Sutton too. I am worried he gets peppered, and I'm worried about Debo. I am long term. Not the player. Of course, I love the talent, but we've seen it. So much of his value is dependent on those carries in the backfield. When they have McCaffrey and now Eli Mitchell, I don't know that we ever see Debo get back into the backfield, other than maybe 1 or 2 crazy designed ones in the game. So he does worry me. a little bit, but he still is one play away from just getting you 15 fantasy points and bam, you're good for the week. Sutton it's the Broncos experience. Why would we ever want to tie ourselves to that if we don't have to? I love Gabe Davis. He's definitely my favorite here. I like Olave, even though he is capped by Andy Dalton. It's still not a bad spot for him against a Rams team that's bottom 5 against receivers this year. And so it comes down to Debo with like the low volume versus Sutton, who's probably going to see 12 targets today, but it's such a gross target share coming from Russ Wilson. I do lean benching Sutton here. You said that too, CJ. What about you, Hags? What are your thoughts on who do you bench out of these three?
I have Olave and Debo, and every single week I say it's Gabe Davis week, and he usually lets me down. I think you got to bench Sutton just because, like you said, why involve yourself with the fucking Broncos? Even though in my prize picks, I got Russ Wilson. I think Russ is going to cook this week.
Oh, baby.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that in a second.
Oh, man. For Russ Wilson, like, do they score 18 points?
Even if he microwaves, he's got some good numbers.
Cooking is coming out with like a mediocre appetizer at best, but we will see. Kristen Mann coming in with a very generous super chat. And thank you, Tim. Let us know where you end up going, but I think we're all in lockstep there. Sutton, despite the obvious target boost this week, they're very good against the outside receivers too. The Raiders are, unless he's moving to the slot, which he could. It's so why? Like, don't get yourself involved with the Broncos if you don't have to. I have to, unfortunately. I was starting Gus Edwards, and now he's out, so now I have to go back to Sutton. But when you have those three good talents, that all three of those guys, Olave, Davis, Debo, they only need one play to just be viable, and then it's like a matter of what's the rest of the game, for them. I like all three of those guys. And then we got Kristen Mann. What do we got for Kristen?
Would you pull the trigger to sub Goff for Kyler Murray rather than waiting for Monday Night Football?
It's a good question, Kristen. I don't like Goff this week. I don't like the matchup necessarily against the Giants. It's a slow game. These are the type of games that you see Goff kind of crap himself. And, obviously they're great when they're up and they're pushing the pace, or they're down and they're chasing points. But I don't know that either of those really apply this week. I think it's just going to be a slow down, like 21-20 game. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Dable just unleashes and then suddenly they're chasing points again. To me, though, like how much better is Goff in fantasy in a mad matchup than Colt McCoy if Murray doesn't play? Is that, I guess, what this comes down to? I'm like, would I prefer Goff than McCoy? Yeah, probably, but I don't think he's that much better like Goff is. Like, I think you're looking at 15 points either way. So I'd rather kind of wait that out for Murray, who has been very viable since since Hopkins came back in the lineup. Marquise Brown also might be back this week too. Like, this could be the most explosive Cardinals team we see in a while. So I'd rather wait this one out for Murray and just pick up Colt McCoy and have that backup option if needed. That's where I lean. But I don't know. Some people do like Goff this week. I've seen a lot of sharp people say like Goff's not in a horrible spot as you might think.
Would you drop Goff for Colt McCoy though? I don't think it would.
I think you could. Like, I think the thing is McCoy going to be scooped up from Kristen ahead of Monday night? Probably not. So like you could ultimately wait this one out, and then if Murray's ruled out, you put him in the IR, you pick up Colt McCoy. And if I had to, then yeah, I would drop Goff. Like I've dropped Goff in every league I had him at this point. I have no interest in really going for that up and down carousel at this point. I mean, he is my quarterback 13. I just checked my ratings. Like, it's a pretty gross week for quarterbacks, but again, I just don't feel like Goff brings much more to the table than Colt McCoy would. If, like, to me, the reward of waiting it out for Kyler Murray. I mean, look at Goff's numbers. He's been the quarterback 28, 16, 19, and 22 his last 4 games since the bye week. Like, that's gross. That's why wait it out. Like, what are we gaining from jamming him in? Like, Colt McCoy can't be the quarterback 22 with some good weapons this week. That's where I lean again. I think. What about you? Do you feel any differently?
I feel like I'd just roll with Goff.
She commented too. She moved Gus to the IR so she could pick up Colt McCoy. So I like that. Like, that's a nice play. So Gus has officially been ruled out. I take it at this point.
Yes.
I need to move him to the IR myself so I can pick up a defense. But yeah, I don't know. I just think Goff, like, I think again, Colt McCoy, the gap between Colt McCoy and Goff doesn't necessitate like benching Kyler Murray and just costing yourself the potential upside, which it's not a great matchup against the 49ers either. But if he gets Marquise Brown back, like, this could be the offense we've been waiting to see. I don't know. Do you guys feel any differently? It's a tricky question. It's hard.
I think it is close, but I would probably have to wait for Kyler. Just like you said, if Hollywood comes back, and I mean, even if he's limited, like that's still he's going to draw attention. I know D-Hop has a hamstring injury, but that he's tending to, but he's going to be all systems go. I think you just got to wait, just like because for the upside. And if you got to start fucking Colt McCoy 1 week, then
he really hasn't been bad. And we see a good note here.
Bad.
We see a good note here from Campanelli on the ground there in New Jersey that Giants secondary has been good against QBs all year. We knew that. They definitely were like points allowed have not been good. But he's mentioned, nearly 20-mile-per-hour winds. Definitely has the feel of a ground game, like bleed clock, back and forth. And that's how I was picturing it anyways. But then you stir in 20-mile-per-hour winds, like even more so, I feel that way. So, Kristen, especially because you had that IR move, that's how I play. And I also don't think if you have Kyler Murray and McCoy, I don't know that you even need to hold on to Goff. Like, I might cut one of those guys and ultimately pick up like a Jalen Warren or one of these upside handcuffs that could end up evolving into something big. So that's where I lean. CJ, you did mention you liked Goff. Like, do you feel differently?
I didn't know the weather issue.
Yeah.
I don't like 20-mile-an-hour winds. I mean, it makes sense considering there's like 80 inches of snow in Buffalo. But
there we go.
Yeah, I'll roll with you with the Arizona guys.
All righty. Well, Mr. Leftwich, Byron Leftwich, I know you got a few prize picks. You want to rip off a few of them before we let you go here, and then we'll start banging through these questions.
All right. So I was going to do something different this week because last week was so fucking horrible. Right off the rip, a 4-pick first half to win the boys and the Wolf Pack $200.
Woo.
Brian Robinson first half over 31.5 yards. Singletary over 27.5 yards. Josh Allen 12.5 fantasy score, and Diggs 43.5 receiving yards.
The one that's not missing there is Josh Allen 12.5. Like, he's going to put up 40 points today. So 12.5 in the first half is that. I liked all of them. That one in particular stood out to me. The only one that necessarily worries me, it doesn't really worry me much because the Browns are so bad on the ground. Second worst defense in the league against the rush in terms of points allowed to running backs. It feels like Singletary might be more of the second half play than the first half with Josh Allen just bombing them early. But even then, like, Singletary just needs 2 nice runs to hit that too. So like,
I think I was looking at it. I think Singletary averages like 45 in the first half.
Really interesting.
So that's why 42.2 in the first half. So I mean, that's 15 over, and it's gonna be like Cleveland sucks, like you said. So I thought that was, I don't know. I know
it's not a bad play. I didn't realize he was more of a first half guy than second. But it kind of makes sense.
Singletary, but
yeah, it's Singletary. All righty. I like that one though. Get the boys cooking early. Get the bankroll ready.
Speaking of cooking, though, all right, this is my 5. I'm not going. Usually, I'll just say like, oh, Diggs 87 yards and Cooper Kupp 93 yards. That's what me and CJ did to, not complicate things. But we're gonna cook this week. Russ Wilson 14.5 fantasy points over. He's hit the last 3 out of 5. Vegas sucks. If he's going to be airing it out, I think he's not going to rely on fucking Melvin Gordon.
His only game with above 15 points, I think, this year, or no, above like 17 points, was against the Raiders too. So, I think every single through 11 weeks of the season, like 9 of those 11 weeks, quarterbacks had their best single week of the season against the Raiders too. They are bad. So yeah, that's not a bad spot at all. 14.5. I hate Russ.
Yeah.
That's 14.5 is not much.
That's 2 points more than Josh Allen's first half. So that's like this is such a random one. Miles Sanders under 6.5 receiving yards. His last 5 games 0, 0, 0, 1, 6.
Oh man,
under 6.5 receiving. I mean, he's probably gonna catch 10 balls for 50 yards today or something.
No, it's gonna be nothing until like the fourth quarter. He gets a screen, and you're gonna text me because he's gonna hit 7 yards.
Right, you're gonna have all 4 of your legs hit, and then that one is gonna just be one dump off, meaningless at the end of the game, and you're just gonna be so pissed.
From one shitty running back play to another. Melvin Gordon 9.5 receiving yards over. 46, 23, 17, 0, 49 are his last 5 weeks. So
they dial up a ton of
bad
screens.
play.
Second highest percentage of passes going to the running backs among the entire NFL. And Gordon's been the main guy with all the other guys out. They haven't worked Chase Edmonds in yet. That's the only way that falters if Chase Edmonds gets like the job. But to me, I think that's a great play too.
Jalen Warren, 13.5 receiving yards. 40,
He's hit it every
25,
week. Yeah.
40, 25, 17, 39. He's didn't really take over the carries last week, but he's still involved.
He's been locked into every third down snap the last 2 weeks too. So as long as that continues, great play.
And then this is the best one. Noah Gray, 13.5 receiving yards.
Why do you get so gross with these?
Dude, because I'm telling you, when you do Cooper Kupp and shit every week, they fuck you over. And it's just like, it makes sense. But
the money is in the crumbs, as they say.
Yeah. But Noah Gray's gone for 20, 45, 10, 13, and he's at 13.5. There's no fucking juju or whatever, and that's going to be slinging. He always catches like one for like 17 yards, and that's going to be it.
Nice.
And
I like it. I'm big into the fantasy points ones, and I don't know if Drake has a line on there yet, but his is probably around like 10.5 fantasy points. I think he's going to go for like 20 or so. Kenyan Drake for the Ravens. That's the one I just would double check on.
Let me see if he's up.
Yeah, we'll get that one, and then again we have a shitload of questions here, Wolfpack, so we will get right to that afterwards. But we do want to again promote, as Danny Heggs looks up Kenyan Drake. PrizePicks is so much fun, as you guys can tell. Like, we're addicted to it.
Actually, PrizePicks added a 6th option now where you can go 6 for 25 times.
25 times, yeah, I saw that. Oh,
I hit one, dude, last night. If Devontae Murray didn't get, I lost $500 on 6 out of 6 by a half a rebound.
Oh,
and
brutal.
Listen to this fucking beat real quick. Rudy Gobert, that fucking big French pussy goober, got a rebound, got his 13th rebound with 0.01 seconds left in the fourth quarter to push. And he cost me like $300.
Brutal.
Unbelievable.
What's Drake's fantasy points? Then we'll let you go.
He's not, his fantasy points aren't on there, but he's at 67.5 rush yards.
That's kind of a lot, but still, I still think he hits that. But yeah, that's not like a must hammer. All righty, Heggs. Well, thanks again, as always, for those prize picks, for the good questions. Best of luck today. Hopefully you slam them again. All righty, Wolfpack. Well, thanks again for checking that out. We just want to, again, promote PrizePicks, one of the funnest apps out there. If you use code RSJ, you get up to $100 match if you deposit $100, which is a great spot. They are an awesome organization, so fun to play it, so many different ways. You can do multi-sports, all that good stuff. So check them on out. Before we get to, you guys have been so generous today. We haven't even hit the earliest questions at 8:45 a.m. because we've gotten so many super chats from you great folks. So Pasta Prince coming in with his second super chat of the day. What do we got for you, Pasta?
He wants to know if you should start Folk today or Gold. I guess there's 20-mile wins in that game and the Patriots game. And also, should the weather downgrade the receivers in the Jets Patriots? Honestly, is it even windy outside? I didn't think it was windy.
CJ, you know what's so classic about that is I was like, is it that bad? My door just swung open from the wind right now. Literally, as we pulled that question up, my door just came flinging open right now, which is like, shit, is that a sign? Like, we got to go against Folk? Honestly, though, like, Folk is just so damn freaking good right now. I can't bench him. Like, I actually dropped Tyler Bass for Folk, and that was a lot of it was due to the weather. And then ultimately it got switched. So I was like, shit, should I have done that? But you look at Folk, and also I think I'm number 2 right now, expert in terms of kicker rankings on the year. I've been like top 10 every single week on my kicker rankings. Not the best everywhere else right now, but I have been crushing it. So Nick Folk, the number 1 kicker in back-to-back weeks, 21 and 17 fantasy points. He also, in his last 5 weeks, had those 2 games plus an 18-point day. Where do you get that from your kickers? Like, Bass was nice with 11, 12, like 8. Like, you knew what you were going to get. Cameron Dicker, the same way, too. If you were going to go somewhere else instead of Folk, I would say Cameron Dicker is the play. I'm riding it out with Folk, though. This is a team that gets it towards the red zone, but never really – they're just so – I love my Pats, don't get me wrong, but, like, they stall out all the fucking time.
Well,
and that's why
because their play calls are fucking brainless human.
Exactly. I agree.
He has no creativity when he's inside the 20-yard line.
100%. So I am all in on just continuing to ride. Like, 20 is bad, but my door just swung open, so maybe it's worse than I'm seeing, but like it's not that bad outside. And I think it's coming in bursts. So like 20 is not like horrible for a kicker either. And it typically has to get to like 40 for it to really matter. So to me, like Folk is one of those few kickers that genuinely can like swing you a week, can put up a wide receiver 1 total. There's very few in the league that have like offenses that get into the red zone but then stall out all the time. His last game against the Jets, he had 21 points. Remember, revenge game narrative. He was the Jets kicker for so long. So you still have that narrative too. I'm riding Folk today myself. I'm sticking it out with Folk despite the weather here.
Yeah.
And is there nothing better too when you like troll on your opponent with a kicker? Like, yeah, my kicker just put up 20 points on you, motherfucker. There's nothing better than that. Like, and again, I don't know. There's really no other kickers this league that have shown that type of 20-point upside. I don't think a single kicker has had a better week than Nick Folk's 21, which came against the Jets just a few weeks ago. So I'm sticking out with Folk. What about you, CJ?
Yeah, no, I always look with kickers. I love kickers, by the way. I hate people that say, "Oh, don't."
I'm all about it. Yeah,
I love
kickers.
I think defenses suck.
Oh,
I also think tight ends suck. I think there shouldn't be tight ends anymore. It should just be receiver.
I could see tight end, kicker, defense, like a flex of those three being like viable. You know.
I hate people that say kickers are not good for fantasy because I love kickers. It's like.
Yeah.
So what I look for though is like a stalling offense and against like a decent defense that will let up yards but not touchdowns. And that's the Jets. So.
The Jets are classic bend not break defense. Yeah. Yep. I'm there. I love Folk this week. The weather, yeah, a little bit troublesome, but not enough to bench a guy again that has weak swinging upside from your kicker position. There's no one else. I stashed him last week on Monday Night Football. I cut. I forget who I cut on my bench for him. But I was like, I didn't need a defense at that point because I had already won my matchup. So I cut my defense to stash Nick Folk. That's how good he has been. So yeah, Pasta Prince, I don't care about the weather today. I'm riding him out. Of course, we're going to see like 3 field goals get carried by the wind out and like not make it now. But to me, no, I feel pretty good. I'm still riding Folk. He just swings matchups. All righty, Wolfpack. It is 12:06. I do have to get off right around 12:40 today. So we have a nice solid 35, 40 minutes to hit your questions here. But if you want to jump the line, there will be, of course, a rapid fire at about 12:30 is when I'll start that. So we got 24 minutes to get through these. If you want a big, like in depth answer, though, please do let us know. You got a comment in there? What do we got?
Fatty Mateo, any question over the last 3 years? You guys say, who cares? When do you guys all of a sudden love kickers?
So the reason is he donated $5 to the show. And no, I love kickers. I am against the people that are like ban kickers from fantasy. I think kicker questions are kind of stupid because it is pretty random unless you play guys like Nick Folk who get you 21 points, you know? So yeah, Fatty Mateo, get out of here.
No,
we love our kickers.
I think kicker questions are kind of stupid. Like if you're carrying 2 kickers, I think you're a moron. But like if you're, I don't know, I like the art of kicking.
And I think there's more predictability to kickers than defenses. Like if you get a good offense, like you said, a good offense.
Especially now with the NFL, like where every team scores 30 points every week, like defense is so useless.
Yeah, I agree. Juan Pena Jr. getting in at 843.
two kicker super flex. That's where it should be at.
Yes. All right. What do we got here? Starting off with Juan Pena from 843. Camped out this morning, baby. I love it, Juan. Hopefully you're still here. What do we got for you?
Flex, I got Antonio Gibson, Connor, Jamal Williams.
Man, I do love Gibson's spot today, but it's tough to bench Connor, especially if Colt McCoy is starting. We don't know yet. It's a game time decision, but he's actually better with Colt McCoy. That worked out for you last week, huh, CJ? 21 fantasy points from James Conner, as we called it. Like
my team put up like 185 last week with Fields and everyone.
Love it. Love it. The team is coming to life, baby. James Conner, though, for me is the play. 90% of the snaps, 95% of the workload, and now Eno Benjamin's gone, so even more guaranteed. One of the weirder cuttings, by the way. Like Eno was solid. I don't know what happened that led him to get cut. I guess we'll find out on that Hard Knocks show. But James Conner, I definitely feel like is the guy here. Gibson not far behind, just 2 spots below him in my rankings, but it's like a teardrop to me. I love James Conner here. And I know you probably will go James Conner after what he did for you last week, right?
Yeah, definitely. Especially if Colt McCoy plays, it just makes it better.
Yeah, like 49ers, tough matchup, good D-line, sure, but dink and dunk. That's what kind of helped him get there last week too. So in on James Conner this week. Yep.
Pick 2 of these. Rondo Moore.
I'm going to close my door too. That swung open. I'll be right back.
Pick 2 receivers. Rondo Moore and Mike Williams. Jerry Jeudy, who's not playing. Tyler Boyd, Thielen, or DeAndre Carter. I'm going the Mike Williams, Tyler Boyd for myself.
We're in agreement. Yep. Rondale Moore is intriguing. 13 targets, even with McCoy under center, was nice, but Marquise Brown could be back. Mike Williams and Tyler Boyd to me. And if Mike Williams doesn't play, sudden rule out tonight, you got Rondale Moore tomorrow, and that's a good backup plan. Give me Mike, give me Tyler Boyd.
Giuseppe, Ayuk, Sutton, A-Rob, PPR.
I gotta go Sutton. Ayuk for Sutton's tricky. What do you think of Ayuk for a Sutton? That's a really tough one.
I mean, I love Ayuk. Ayuk's like sneaky the best receiver on the 49ers, I think. I would go Ayuk myself. Is A-Rob going to be the receiver one now?
Yeah, but I'm not even thinking about A-Rob. Fuck that. Not even considering it. I think he sucks. Yeah, I do have Ayuk wide receiver 15. I have Sutton 18, so it's close, same tier. But Ayuk has been really, really solid. I do like Ayuk. I don't think he's the best. Best pure receiver maybe, but Debo is just so versatile. Like if I had one or the other on my team, I'd rather have Debo. But yeah, Ayuk's been great, and he's seen 11 plus targets in like 2 of his last 3 weeks, even with McCaffrey there. I think I go Ayuk here. It's just Sutton's so gross. Like the Broncos suck in this. I hope it's his coming out party because I have to start him this week. I don't like that I have to start him though. I wanted to go Gus Edwards, and then Gus Edwards got ruled out, so it's not like I'm excited about this. It sucks. But yeah, I'm gonna go Ayuk there. I agree. You got the do you mind clicking on it? Because I just gotta quickly update. I'm just tossing one update through.
Giuseppe's asking again, Keenan Allen, Mooney, or Thielen PPR.
I just want to make sure I got 1 sec, Wolfpack. I just want to double check that I got Edwards out of my rankings. Yes, I X'd out of him. Okay, perfect. So I'm putting that updated. Keenan Allen, Mooney, or Thielen. Similar, Giuseppe. Like I want to go Keenan Allen here. If you don't have a great backup plan, like let's say you don't have Josh Palmer sitting there, I would go Mooney other than that. But to me, as long as Keenan Allen's in, he's my preferred play here. How do you feel about that, CJ?
Yeah, I feel he may scarecrow us like he has in the past, but I'm going Keenan Allen this group.
Yeah, the other two just aren't intriguing enough for me to go there. But Mooney definitely my preferred second option if it's not Keenan Allen. Very, very close there. So if you want to lean on the safer side and go Mooney, I have no problem with that. Thielen, it's like he'll have his 3 touchdown day sometime, and it might be this week. I can't keep chasing it. He's gross. I don't fuck Thielen this year. The Hawkinson's the clear number 2 at this point.
Nicole Lewin, who should I choose for my flex spot this week? Zeke, Gus is out, so Zeke or Foreman, happy guy.
I guess I go Foreman. I know we've talked about the risk of him getting game flowed out, but like with the report that Tony Pollard's probably more involved and they're just kind of getting Zeke's legs back under him. Who knows how involved he ends up being, especially if this ends up becoming like a back and forth aerial show, which it very well could. I'm going to go Foreman here. I don't love it. I don't love either, but I'm going to go Foreman. What about you, CJ?
I don't like Zeke this week. I don't like Foreman this week, but between those two, I'd probably go Foreman. I think he has more guaranteed touches. Yeah,
like at least he'll start the game, and it's not a bad matchup. The only reason that makes it a bad matchup is how good the Ravens are and how quickly he might get flowed out of here. But maybe you get that early touchdown, just kind of saves you.
Me and Hank's having this argument. He was like, "Oh, you need to hammer like Foreman over 55 yards." And I was like, "No, they may be down." I love this because he's listening right now. So
yeah, I would go under that.
Biggest idiot of all time. If you look at his last 4 games, it's either shootout, win. He all had over 100 yards in those games, and their one loss where they were getting smashed, he had like 15 yards.
15 exactly. Exactly. I'm worried that they get down early and we just don't see the rest, which also doesn't make tons of sense because he is a pretty good pass catcher and he's a solid pass protector too. Like he should be a 3-down back, and if that was the case, he would be a top 15 fantasy guy every single week. Like if he had that pass catching role on luck, and I think he should. But he doesn't right now for whatever reason. They go to Blackshear or whoever the hell, like some pirate from the fucking Caribbean. Like I don't even know who the hell is back there. So that's the risk, and that's why I'm avoiding Foreman when I can. But with this question, I go Foreman. I do.
Oh, Hank just goes $10 side bet over 55 rushing yards for Foreman.
I'll take the under there. Kickers are people too. See, we don't hate kickers. We're actually a kicker show. We love kickers.
Kicker only show Thursday night.
I'm going Dicker, by the way. I'm grabbing a beer while I do it.
Greg Joseph or Dicker the kicker. We have to go with the big dick Dicker the kicker.
Yeah, it's Dicker, baby. All righty. Have you cracked one yet? I haven't heard the fresh crack over there, CJ.
No, I went out late last night. Not having a great morning.
Well, it's time. I need to hear that crack.
Campanelli, like, subscribe, comment. We're the best in the biz. Let's launch RSJ into new stratosphere. I agree. Like,
You're a legend, Campanelli. Thank you for pumping us. And while we're pumping ourselves, I would like to remind you guys we will be live. CJ, I will not call out a Tonight Show. This time I will make sure to stay in commission. Me and the Truth will be back live tonight, 7:30-ish. Absolutely going to be live with my man, the Truth. Although the second double IPA at 12 a.m. might be 12 p.m. could potentially put that in jeopardy. No,
dude, I was buckled last week when Truth.
I'm glad you.
I was just like, go in.
I'm glad you could handle it because I couldn't. I'll tell you, Wolfpack. I'll give you the quick story. I know we have so many questions to hit, but man. So CJ, this is what ended up putting me under. Is Bailey came over. I had to sign Tanzella's marriage papers. He got home from his honeymoon and forgot to sign them before he left. So he brought the papers over. Bailey was already over. Neither me and Bailey were planning to drink. We're like, no, we're not drinking today. And then Tans came. We're like, all right, let's have a beer. And then I had this nice bottle of whiskey that Canaxis had given me as an engagement gift, like not too long ago. And we decided to play a new Red Zone game. So all of you tuned in, you want a Red Zone drinking game. Here's one that will get you fucked up beyond all belief. We had touchdown. Somebody had a touchdown. Somebody had field goal. Somebody had turnover. And if your play happened, you got to assign a shot. And then it would rotate. So like it would go clockwise and the next person would have touchdown. So it was whatever game, whatever first popped up on Red Zone, whatever. So we, I think, underestimated how quickly all of those things happen at a given time. So we were just handing shots over left and right. The bottle of whiskey was gone, like a huge bottle of whiskey, in under an hour. And I couldn't, I was passing on the floor and like 20 minutes later, like, Truth, I can't do it. I can't even get up right now. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm glad you were able to come in, but you guys want a game. It probably makes more sense to do like a power hour, like beer shots and play that game because, man, like we each ended up taking like 7 or 8 shots.
A red zone drinking game would be unbelievable.
Well, that's what it was. It was a Red Zone drinking game. And I think with beer shots would be a much better way to like keep your night alive without dying. Cause I think we ended up having about 20 combined shots in about 40 minutes. And we're like, all right, this is not good. But man, yeah, sorry again for missing the show, but tonight I will be back live 7:30-ish with my guy, The Truth, recapping all the action. I know my man Campanelli will be there. We'll be talking about that Chiefs Chargers shootout tonight. And then of course, talking about early waiver wire, all that good stuff. So yeah, cheers guys. Absolutely. Let's crush it this week.
Oh, am I going to have to crack open a little Truly margarita?
Yes, go do it now. And I'll answer a few questions while you go pick one up. So CJ will be back, but we got to get the fresh crack from CJ. Half the audience tunes in just to hear the crack of CJ opening the can over there. Going to start Palmer in the flex. Edwards now likely out. My options are Skoranek, Pitts, or pick up McKenzie. What do you think? Full PPR. I don't actually even hate Pitts here. With the upside, like so many air yards these last few weeks, but man, they're not going to get realized. 50% catchable ball rate is like dead last in the NFL by over 20%. I kind of like getting McKenzie in there and like playing that shootout style game, or not even shootout, just onslaught Bills type of game. So yeah, there it is, the fresh crack over there. I'm gonna go McKenzie here. CJ, beautiful looking can. McKenzie versus Pitts or Skoranek. Which way do you lean, CJ?
Yeah, I like McKenzie, but Skoranek he's going to get targeted, I think, 8 plus times.
I'm intrigued by him, and he's only 3,900 on DraftKings too. Like I wouldn't be shocked at all to see an 8 catch a day, but I go McKenzie. I go for that nice matchup against the dome atmosphere. I feel like McKenzie has like a nice day today. That's where I'm leaning. You too? All right.
I'll roll with you. Giuseppe, Pittsburgh or Saints? I love the Saints defense today. I
keep flip-flopping on this one. Like Saints have a couple big names out, but they also are facing a third-string line that was already bad. And yeah, I think the Saints D smothers this Rams team today. So as much as I like the Pittsburgh D, they got me out of there. 10 points last week. That's probably who I'm riding this week. I like Pittsburgh. So I'm going to go them. And Great show, great vibes, great people, great advice. Thank you guys so much for your kind words. Reminder out there, Wolfpack, that thumbs up button, if you're new to the show, it really does help us continue to grow. We got about 50 live viewers for the last hour. So awesome to see. And especially you new names out there, please do consider hitting that subscribe button. Turn the bell on. We're live 4 times a week. answering all your questions, helping you get ready to dominate your stretch runs. We keep bringing people titles year in, year out. So I think we're doing something right, baby. A lot of the repeat viewers out there keep saying their kind words. It really does mean I'd like to think I don't need praise, but it's so nice to hear so many of you guys winning your leagues, loving the vibes. Like, that's what we're here for. We're here for you guys. So please do consider coming back, subbing to the show. We left off on Nicola.
Thoughts on playing Brown from the Cardinals, who's coming back from IR? Either him or Ayuk.
Do we even know Brown's officially activated? I'd go Ayuk.
No, I've seen some videos of him running and whatnot. But
He looks good, yeah.
I'd be safe and go Ayuk this week.
Mm-hmm. Me too. Because it'd be great to see, how does Brown coexist with Hopkins, who's seen like 10-plus targets in every game since he's been back, right? Like, Brown was killing it before injury. Are these two going to coexist? And my thought is yes, they do. But when you got a guy like Ayuk, you can at least wait it out and see how they do.
Are they not playing against each other?
They are playing against each other.
Yeah,
Yep.
so you can wait, I guess.
You can wait, but even if he's in, I'd still go Ayuk.
I'd prefer Ayuk.
I prefer Ayuk either way, yeah.
Sarno, good morning, boys. Happy PR. Debo, Pickens, DPJ, Foreman, Pierce, Kamara. I said one of these.
Oh, man. I think it comes down to – okay, so I'm playing Debo, Pierce, and Kamara. And Pierce does worry me a little bit this week, but it's not enough to bench him for Pickens, DPJ, or Foreman. I still like Pickens a lot. I'm a big Pickens guy, always have been, so I'm not benching Pickens myself. DPJ versus Foreman – I feel like I'd probably go Foreman, even though DPJ, good shootout, like going to need points, better on the road than at home. Turf plays into DPJ's game. I mean, I like DPJ too. And he's got a nice floor these last 5 or 6, like 5 of his last 6 have been 11 or more PPR points. Oh, man, I don't know. Like,
I'm anti-Foreman today. I'm sitting him.
You're sitting Foreman there? Yeah. I think I sit Foreman too. I'm a little worried about him. I am. So yeah, Sarno, we're gonna bench Foreman there. Great options, but yeah, we'll bench Foreman.
The Bulldog. Happy Sunday.
Every Bulldog comes to every show. Like, I think you've been new this year, but you've been so consistent. So cheers to you, Bulldog. Love it.
He started Christian Watson in 3 leagues.
Hell yeah, let's go, baby. I love that. I love when a Thursday night call goes right, because there's nothing worse than sitting there with like a goose egg in your lineup and you're just like, fuck, I recommended him to people. I had him in myself, and it's like, oh God, this is nothing worse than like getting it wrong on a Thursday.
No one gets more horny over Thursday nights than us, and we just like proclaim like random players to start.
Get the action, yeah. Get Ben Skoranek in just for Thursday night juice.
If they played on Thursday, I'd have them in every single lineup. Tony. Good morning. Start 3 of these: DJ Moore, Mike Williams, Pacheco, Gus, Drake. PPR.
Playing Drake 100%. Gus is out. And so I'm also going Mike Williams. Prefer him over the other receivers. Comes down to DJ Moore or Pacheco. I like Pacheco there. DJ Moore is such a risk with Baker Mayfield. Has never had more than 13 points. It's been single digits in like all but 2 starts. For whatever reason, I love DJ Moore, the player. Do not like him with Baker. So I'm going to go Pacheco in a good spot. Even in PPR, though, oh, man, that's tough.
I'm off DJ Moore this week.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go Pacheco there, baby. So Mike, Drake, and Pacheco.
Always great to see the regulars and the newbies. Great advice.
Hey, the community is awesome. I know we got to get like a Discord or whatever, like, you know, the way all you guys can interact with each other. We got to figure something out to get the Wolfpack vibe.
We're always like 2 years behind everyone else.
I know. Yeah.
Do you want to join the new Discord? It happened like 5 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. There'll be something else by then, but hey, we'll be there eventually.
Sarah Riley, sit one of these. Happy PR. Jamal Williams, Swift, Robinson. I'm sitting
Swift for me. Yeah, get rid of Swift. So whatever that rift is between him and the team, it's hurting his touches, it's hurting his snaps. He's out for me.
We should have knew this was coming when Deuce Staley was just kind of like, he's a huge pussy.
Yeah, exactly.
What
right.
he basically said in the preseason. So
we need to get Swift to the Chiefs. Like, he would be a top 5 running back with the Chiefs.
I'm not a Swift guy.
We've never been a Swift show either. We've never been a Swift site. Like, that was one of our biggest fades this year. That's looking really good. We have definitely our wrong calls. Everybody does, but fading Swift in the 2nd round was not one of them.
I think Jackson had him as a sell like week 2 too.
Yeah, we've been all over the sell him train. Yep.
Sarno, Patterson, or Pacheco have to go.
Oh man, like, how gross was Patterson last week with like Huntley and Avery Williams and obviously Tyler Algier, like 4-headed nightmare. I still wonder how much of that was like they played on, like it was he was coming off the IR. It was a Thursday night game after a Sunday game. I like Patterson still. I do. Chicago's not a good run D, very bad run D, actually. You got a little bit of revenge game kind of juice here with Cordell Patterson was sneaky on the Bears for a while. I go Patterson here. I do. What about you, CJ?
Yeah. Actually, I have a funny I'll say this for a different week because we don't have much time left, but my last name should have been Pacheco.
Really?
It changed. It actually was, and then it was changed.
Oh.
Now I'm just a 2 first name psychopath. I'm going Patterson. Jimmy had him listed in his DraftKings lineup. He kind of talked me into it yesterday. So.
I sneaky like Patterson to bounce back this week. So out of those two, I'm going to go Patterson.
All right, let's
He's typically done as well.
We still have like 20 minutes left.
All righty. Rapid fire time, you think?
Let's do 5 more minutes of chatting.
Yeah.
Right. Sarah Riley, Happy BR Flex, Amon-Ra, Gabe Davis, Ayuk.
I'm gonna go St. Brown. St. Brown's like Cooper Cup light, like sippy cup, but he's so good. I fucking love St. Brown. Like I can't bench him. What about you?
Yeah, I'm with you there.
So she's starting Jefferson and Higgins, and I probably do the same. But Davis versus Higgins is close for me. Did you go Daddy?
No, I'd go Higgins as long as
Daddy on the turf. No, I agree. I go St. Brown. St. Brown, Jefferson, and Higgins are like guaranteed 8 to 10 targets. So yeah, I go those guys, but Daddy Davis is knocking on the door of that question.
Richard B need 2 flexes. Pollard, Gallup, Palmer, Pacheco, Rondo Moore.
Gonna go Pollard with again that report coming out. He might be the guy while they ease in Zeke here. The rest is all a mix. I think I keep going Pacheco though. I actually just bumped him in the rankings. The more I recommend him, the more I'm like, yeah, he's a pretty good play today. Bad run D, 3rd most points to backs, 2nd most yards allowed. And they're going to want to hopefully keep the ball out of Herbert's hand. I like Pacheco tonight. And more might have been the recommendation, but if Brown is back, who knows how targets shake out there from then on out. So if Brown's back, I'm a little bit more worried about more than I want to be. So yeah, I'm going to go put Pollard and Pacheco. What about you, CJ?
Pollard's the lock. And then I think I'll go Rondo Moore maybe over Pacheco.
Over Pacheco? It's not horrible.
That backfield is still just sketchy to me where I know he is the starter and everything, but it's still, I don't feel great about that backfield.
Yeah, I know. But I'm worried about Brown coming back and taking over and Rondo Moore becoming a 3-target guy and just disappearing. I don't know. Is that crazy? Well, continue forward. I got to pick up a defense real quick while you're pulling the next question.
I'm trying to find it. All right. Malachi, Connor, Foreman, Mike Will, or Boyd for the flex?
James Conner. I mean, I love Mike Will coming back, and I do like Boyd against a great matchup for the slot. But again, Conner, 90% of the snaps, 90% of the touches, no Benjamin anymore. Until he gets hurt, I think he's back into that role that made him the top 5 running back in last year. So especially if Colt McCoy's starting, even better for him. Give me Conner. You agree?
Sounds good to me. Thomas Medina, looks like no Gus. Who to waiver, Gainwell, Cook, Ebner, Hill, or any other underdog suggestion?
Oh, boy. Of these guys, Cook's the only one that I see, like, if Singletary went down, suddenly you got yourself a huge upside guy. I continue to recommend, like, Jalen Warren as a stash.
I think he needs to start someone because he has 5 players in the bye week.
Oh, man. Damn. And it has to be a running back, it sounds like, too. So I'm trying to think of, like, if I have any other, like, hey, and I love Thomas, so I want to get this right from Panama, baby. Tuning in. How do these guys find us? That's what makes this shit so cool is when you got, like, people from Panama tuning in. So I'm guessing Pacheco's gone now. Is McKinnon gone? The snap leader, getting a ton of targets. Like, I kind of like going McKinnon here. If he's gone too, and Jalen Warren's also gone, who I would go for, is Kyron Williams gone, who I could see someone from the Rams becoming viable. If he's gone, you know who I actually wouldn't be shocked if he had like a random plunge in would be Keontae Ingram for the Cardinals with no more Benjamin there. But I think I go James Cook here. I could see them getting up big early. Last week, we saw him start to get like that second half burn in a really, really good matchup against the Browns. Plus, you have the upside. If something happened to Singletary, you'd be getting the guy that everyone would be trying to scoop next week. So of these four, I go Cook. If McKinnon's out there as like a start, I probably prefer him. What about you, CJ?
I was duck texted us something. I was reading that. I was trying to find something.
Oh,
So I'll let you control the running back situation.
Yeah, the gross running backs. It's McKinnon if you need a stream and he's out there. And if he's gone, then I go James Cook.
New life. Hey guys, happy PR pick 2. Myers, Gabe Davis, Peoples Jones, Pickens, Mooney.
Gabe Davis, 110%. And
Daddy and DPJ.
do you think DPJ over Pickens? I like Mooney a lot too. I like all these guys.
I don't like Mooney yet, still.
And I like Myers and half PPR. It's like a slot funnel pass defense for the Jets. I mean, Gabe's the lock. All these other guys are fucking crazy. Like in the same tier. Your DPJ, I like Mooney, honestly. I kind of like Mooney.
I like him the least, I think, of everyone.
Really? Yeah. I'm big into Pickens today too. I am. So that's where I'm leaning.
West C, Big Dog, pick 3 of these.
Gus is out. Yeah.
Actually, you're just going to pick the 3.
You
answered it yourself.
Yeah, so there's 3 here, and one of you picked the. Yeah, we need the other options. There's only 3 there, and Gus is out, so Gus is not playing, as they say. All right, CJ, I'm gonna hit the rapid fire because I have to hard stop at 12:45 today. I have too much. I got to get ready for myself. So Wolfpack, I'm gonna jam through these as fast as I can. At 12:45, if I haven't got through, we usually get through them all. I'm gonna try my best to. If you get a super chat, so CJ, keep your eyes peeled for a super chat here. We got 51 of you. We're going to, rapid fire through these. A thumbs up would be so greatly appreciated. With 50 of you here, please do hit that for us. And consider, again, if you're new here, sub into the show on YouTube would be so greatly appreciated. Let's roll, Wolfpack. Too much tunes. Can't do that in a rapid fire. Pacheco or Slayton and Flex. I'm going to go. I like Slayton a lot today, actually, Andrea. I'm well into Slayton today. My boy CJ loves soccer, says Ryan from across the pond. Wish I could call him, but I'm at work. Pumped for the World Cup as well with CJ. Yeah. Happy PR for my guy, DJ Johnson from Beb. Flex. I need a wide receiver 3 and flex. So Ayuk over the other receivers. And I'm going to go Jamal Williams. 2 touchdown upside today. Have Debo. Nice. Should I start? I still go Ayuk, even with the double. It's risky, but I still like it. Garrett Wilson will be the next man up, though, if you don't want to do that, DJ Johnson. But I do go both 49ers. Should I start for Sebastian Alex supporting the show on Thursday night? We don't forget those things. Greatly appreciate it. Should I start Month over Kamara? I don't know who. Montgomery is probably who you're talking about, and I still go Kamara there, and you're not benching either of the other 2 guys. Lost Cup and Chase now to injuries, trying to fill. You need to start 3. A-Rob, Slayton, Gallup, Drake, Samuel. Drake, definitely Brandon. Slayton, I'm definitely going for. And I'm going to go Samuel over Allen Robinson. I'm still worried about Allen Robinson, even with the number 1 role. Monty, he corrected himself. So, yeah. Series bye week crunch. It's definitely a bye week crunch for a lot of us. DJ Moore, Nico Collins, or Quez Watkins. You need ceiling. It's definitely DJ Moore, even if, maybe him and Baker just finally connect. The other 2 guys, 10 targets for Nico Collins last week, RTK. Not bad, but I'm going to go DJ Moore there. What's going on? Need a flex. DPJ, Pickens, Wandale, or Michael Carter. I'm going to go Pickens there, Andres. DPJ would be my next, but I like Pickens a lot. With Everett being questionable, would you start Dulcich? Tunes, it's exactly what I'm doing. Unless by 4 o'clock we get news that Everett's starting, I'm going to go Dulcich myself. Half PPR, wide receiver and flex, Keenan, Rondale, Michael Carter, Eli Mitchell, Curtis Samuel. I'm going to go Keenan. Maybe you put him in the flex because that way you can swap in Eli Mitchell if he's ruled out. Or you got Rondale as your backup too. And I kind of like all of those later guys. So Keenan, Rondale, Eli Mitchell, some combo of them. I'd rank them Keenan, then Eli Mitchell, then Rondale, unless there's no Marquise Brown, and I'd flip Eli and Rondale. I know it's a lot of random stuff to process, but keep it to the later game, guys, is what I'm thinking, DJ Moore. Drop DPJ for Burks. Yes, I would. I absolutely love Burks down the stretch, even though I do like DPJ with Watson coming back. Lamar or Dak. I'm going to go Lamar there. Mike Clay. Pitts or Claypool. Ugh, Pitts, but don't like them all. Gabe Davis, Toney, Pickens, Deontay Johnson, pick 2. Definitely Gabe Davis, and it's definitely Toney. Easy one for us, Tunes. Because of bye weeks, options are limited. Nico, Van, or Justin Watson. I'm going to go Nico. 10 targets last week. Seems to be the number 1 receiver there. Apex, what's going on, brother? A-Rob with Cup out or Pollard? Definitely Pollard for me, Apex. Gabe or Sutton? It's Gabe, Mike Clay. Pick 1, Slayton, DPJ, London, Gallup. I'm going to go Slayton there. I'm really big fan of Slayton today. I am. Like and share Wolfpack. Would you trade? Oh, maybe this is what Austin's question would have been. So sorry if we missed it. We got a couple for you with the super chat. We missed this one, though. Would you trade David and Monty for Najee? No, I'd rather have Monty. We got at least 4 more weeks of very, very usable numbers with no Herbert. Najee, who knows if he'll ever be viable. Like, share, and subscribe. Agreed. Wolfpack, that like button is so greatly appreciated. We're at 15 on Facebook. Come on, get that over 20. You always get over 20. Let's go. Good morning, Denny Jennings. Great to see you. Get those thumbs up in. Love you, Wolfpack, pumping up the show. Gibson or Foreman? It's definitely Gibson fan first. Half PPR. Start 1, drop 1. DPJ, Samuel, Gus. Nico better. Can you put Gus on the IR? If not, I'd probably drop Gus anyways. Nico better than any of these rest of the season? No. And start 1. I'm starting DPJ over Samuel. Very close, though. Josh Allen or Fields? Oh, man. I'm going Josh Allen, Daniel F., but love them both. How much are you buying Alvin Kamara today? You got to play Alvin Kamara if you have him. That's how I feel. We got a super chat coming in, so you want to jump the line and get your analysis in. That super chat's a great way to do it. Wolf and CJ, pick up Duvernay, Gallup, or Slayton for the flex. I like Slayton of these guys against a bad Detroit defense. What about you, CJ?
Yeah, I was going to say that. I'm with you.
The only risk is your boy Jeffrey Okudah. Like, they haven't been using him as a true shadow in a shutdown, but he's been good this year. So, like, is there a possibility he goes on Slayton full time? Maybe. But even so, I think they move.
I don't know. Does the Slayton warrant, like, coverage like that?
No, I don't think so. So, yeah, I'm going Slayton there. I do like Duvernay as a player, but, like, he just disappeared on Monday night last time out. So, I'm going to go Slayton. He's been out his last 5 weeks, like, all but one has been really, really good. And now you get the best matchup he's had in a while. So I'm leaning that way. And I'm trying to find where we left off. It was Josh Allen or Fields here. Thank you so much, Omar, for the super chat. It's greatly appreciated. I am buying Alvin Kamara, Stream, Pickett, Heineke, Mills, Brissett, or Matty Ice. It is fucking gross. You knew we were going to make fun of you, Tony. And I'm going to go, I hate them all. Matty Ice, though. Maybe they just need to chuck it there late. In a bit of a pickle with Kirk on bye. I need 2 receivers. Definitely starting Tony. All in on that. I would go Keenan Allen if he's in Y2J. And you go Palmer if not, the wind is coming back. My door is getting thrusted open yet again. Jesus. Maybe you do need to bench Nick Folk. What would you rank? Pacheco or Pacheco's like my running back 25 or so. So I don't know if that's what you're asking there. What's going on, Martin Broadhurst? Should I start Palmer, Pittman, or B. Cooks in full PPR? Oh God, I guess Pittman just because it looks like the other guys are back for the Chargers. I'm just running a quick.
Hollywood Brown is out, by the way.
Hollywood Brown is officially out. Okay, so that does bump up Rondale a little bit. Good to know for sure. There, he was very viable with Colt McCoy last week. PPR, Van Jefferson, Zeke, or Slayton. I'm going to go Slayton there. I think he has huge upside today. Heineke going off today, left hand up. Oh, boy, Evan Bus. That sounds like Homer bias to me. Don't vomit. Ugh. Skoranek, McKenzie, Alec Pierce, Hollins, or Henderson. I'm going to go maybe they do ride Henderson more with all this out, but I'm gonna lean McKenzie there. I've always been a McKenzie guy, for better or for worse. It's panned out for me plenty, and it's cost me a few. What's up? Start 2. Cooper, Pittman, Ayuk, Toney. Thank you. I'm going to go Ayuk and Toney there, Michael Fawcett. You got those home road splits for Cooper, which he's not at home this week. Even though he's on turf, it's good for him. It's definitely not Pittman. I love Ayuk. I love Toney. So I'm going to go those 2, Michael Fawcett. Thank you so much for supporting the show, jumping the line. But, yeah, both those guys in solid matchups. And I just don't – Cooper's road splits again. I heard a theory. It was why is this? Is it not because he can sleep on his bed? And Scott Barrett, again, one of my favorite guys, one of the few guys I listened to out there, was saying he thinks Cooper, when he gets on the road, just goes ham and, gets hammered and cheats on his wife and, goes buys a bunch of prostitutes and is up all night. And, maybe he is. Maybe Cooper's just a scumbag. Scumbag narrative out there for the win. Who knows? But he has been – it's whatever it is, it's real. He is really, really bad on the road. And so I'm worried about that for sure. All right. We left off. Thank you again for the super chat, Michael Fawcett. Right here. So Prescott or Joe, I'm going to go Prescott. Love that game today. I love both those options, though. Trade one. Olave or Toney. Man, I do I think I gotta go. I'm going to bump down Olave because he has been capped.
I was going to ask. I have that exact same problem in one of my leagues. I'm
going to go Toney. I mean, am I nuts? I'm going to
go.
I'm
I'm doing it myself.
It's a little crazy, but I'm bumping Olave down below Toney because I truly would do that in my leagues. I love fucking Kadarius Toney, so I'm going Toney. I don't see how he could not succeed tonight with no Hardman, no Juju. He's just so damn good. The only reason he wasn't putting up 30 points is because he wasn't playing all the snaps, but they have no choice but to play him all the snaps. So, yeah, I'm going to go Toney over Olave. I'm updating the rankings as we speak, so that's the reason I'm kind of like buying time here. All righty, Keenan Allen, Drake London, or DPJ. I'm going to go Keenan Allen or Marnie, but you got to make sure you have a backup because he doesn't feel fully 100% locked in. Austin Furster. Oh, that was the super chat we already got. Was Gibson for you. Chat, should I start Pacheco or Paris Campbell? I think I go Pacheco there, Buddy P. Moon, but I do like Paris Campbell a lot. Yeah, subscribe, like, comment. I appreciate the hype, David Campanelli. Please do like, subscribe, and comment. We got about 5 more minutes, and then I do have to sign off, Wolfpack. So super chat will guarantee you an answer. This might be the first mailbag we don't get all the way through, and I apologize in advance.
Hegs said to jump in if me and him can chat a little PrizePicks when you go.
Oh, that would be awesome if you guys want to finish the mailbag and chat some PrizePicks to end the show. If Hegs wants to come on back and wrap it up, because I do got to get off at 12:45. I have too much money on the line to go figure out.
Right, correct.
Carries Toney or Rondale Moore. Definitely Toney for me, Jonathan Dirks. Mike W. or Olave. I'm going Olave in that case, just in the off chance he doesn't succeed. Ramondre, J. Connor, or Kamara. Pick 2. Ramondre and Kamara for me, Dilly Bar. Remember Dilly Bar is so good. 49ers or Broncos defense. I'm going to go Broncos defense. It just keeps opening. I don't know why. Half PPR, Jay Williams, Swift, or Pacheco. I'm going, sit one. I'm going to sit Swift there, Frank Bullitt. What's good, fellas? Would you start either of the two over Olave? Slayton or D. Smith? Nah, I'd stay with Olave there. Pacheco or C. Patterson? I'm going to go Patterson there, Broderick Forcier. Morning Jets. Singletary, Zeke, Carter, Eli Mitchell. I'm going to go Singletary for sure. And I think I go Zeke over Mitchell, but it is close, Trey S. We flexing Carter or Mooney. I'm going to go Mooney there, half PPR. What the hell I was doing? Smoked a fatty, getting the ribs going. Love it. Thank you for tossing us the money. No, you're good. 8-2. Let's fucking go, Austin. I hope those ribs come out money, baby. Hey, boys. What's up, Mike Les? Mad money, baby. Who do I want at my flex, Connor or Drake? Ooh, 15 and 16. Gus is sitting. I do go Connor very, very slightly, but it is close as all hell. Nico Collins, Rondale Moore, or Garrett Wilson in standard. I'm going to go Garrett Wilson there, Buggy McSaught. Half PPR for Scoot over. 2 receivers in the flex. Gabe Davis, Amari, Debo, Monty. We got to bench one. I'm going to bench Amari with those home road splits. Playing Jake Stoll over Foster. No, not even a horrible play there, Denny Jennings. Plus, you get the home time. Pasta Prince, I'm subscribed. I think they shadow banned you guys or something. I never see your posts. Oh, shit. Are we shadow banned? Maybe you got to hit the bell. Why would we be shadow banned? I don't know. Maybe we are. Something to look into, CJ. We might be shadow banned. I don't know. Subbed and they never see our posts. That's not good. Maybe that's why we aren't getting as many subscribers as we hope. How the hell does one get shadow banned? What have we done to get shadow banned? I have no idea.
We're very political on this platform.
Yeah, right. DPJ or Najee for Millie C. Half PPR. I'm leaning DPJ, honestly. I love him on the road. He's been really high floor, high ceiling. Does sound like, our guy coming in with a super chat. So let me get down to the super chat real quick. Wow, we have so many questions. Karan Shah, thank you so much for the support. Karan, Russ, Jimmy G, or Heineke? I hate to admit it, but I'm going to probably go Russ here. The one good game he had was against the Raiders. So many quarterbacks have had their best games against the Raiders. They are bad. Favorite ice cream? I'm a big mint chocolate chip guy, and I love cookie dough as well.
Coffee ice cream's best.
Toffee?
Coffee.
Oh, coffee. Yeah, fucking 80-year-old grandfather. Peoples Jones or Darius Slayton?
Ice cream's for children, anyways.
I love ice cream. Best dessert out there. Darius Slayton for me over Peoples Jones, but I do love them both this week. But if it's one or the other, it's Darius Slayton for me. What about you, CJ?
Yeah, let's wait another 2 weeks on DPJ over Slayton.
There we go. Flex DPJ or Najee. We want DPJ. Which one would you start? Olave, Slayton, or D. Smith? It's Olave, even with the nice matchups. Hit sub, share, like all that. Thank you so much, Craig Sarno, for pumping us up. Gus is inactive. Mark Andrews active. Love to see it. Chubb or Jacobs? Definitely Chubb to start. Jacob bets, but I love them both. Yeah, you got to bench Jacobs over Chubb. Sutton, Toney, Mike Williams, sit one. I'm sitting Mike, I think, Frank, just for the risk there.
No,
Pickens are
sit Sutton. Don't be silly.
yeah, I mean, I personally, if I had the option, yeah, you know what, I would sit Sutton. But who's your backup for Mike Williams? I have Palmer, so I can do that. Do you have Palmer as a Mike Williams backup play? Pickens or Keenan Allen? I'm going Keenan Allen. And you got to have your backup, though, Cody. As you said, you've been burned. Mooney, Campbell, Slayton, or C. Samuel? I'm going to go I like Mooney here is where I'm leaning. But we will see. Then we got my man, Texas Hustler. Oh, we got a super chat. Hold on. We got to find that one. A bunch of super chats, S-Mac and Austin Firster, but no questions. CJ, can you keep your eyes peeled? Let me know if a question,
right there.
One popped up.
First, there asked the question above the super chat.
Our defense gets a lot of generous points in our league. Jets or Philly D? I go Philly. I mean, think about how many turnovers Matt Ryan had early. Like, Philly's a good defense, so yeah, you go Jets. I mean, the Pats do suck, but
no, I'm scared of Matt Jones.
No, I'm not scared of Matt Jones either. I just kind of like the Philly defense better as a whole there. And then, yeah, keep your eyes peeled if the other guy sends in an actual question. Dallas, Texas is watching. Wolf, love the Texas Hustler. Always turned in one of the best hype guys there is. Pickens or Elliott? I'm going Pickens there. Steven. Leighton panicking. Fatty Mateo, like Camino's girl when she panicking, talking shit in the chat there. Fatty Mateo. I'm Leighton panicking like Campanelli's girl when she conceived the kid. She was late and she was panicking. Campanelli turns on the screen and shows his shock. I love the chat calling each other out. Good shit. Friendly banter from the chat. Pickens or Slayton or Elliott? I'm going to go Pickens very slightly there. Steven Hernandez. Njoku or Fryer moves. Ooh, very close. I'm going to go Njoku myself. Full PPR. Need running back 2 in flex. B-Rob, Boyd, Drake. Could sit Devontae to get them all in. You're not sitting Devontae. You need a running back 2. It is Drake. You need a flex. It's Boyd over B-Rob, I think, but it's really, really close. Thoughts on Justin Watson for the Chiefs? Is desperation viable if you miss out on a Chiefs or a Chargers wide receiver? Van Jefferson, I don't know. I think that whole offense is one to avoid. Jack, great to see you again. Trade away A.J. Brown and D. Pierce for CMC and Pitts. Pitts sucks. CMC's the best player there, but I think it's an L. How we doing? Montgomery or Drake for Frazier? I actually kind of like Drake here. And I do have to sign off, boys. Cody Hoxie Allen plans on playing. I don't know who Allen. I don't know what's going on there. Morning, gents. Thoughts on Paris Campbell or Palmer? I'm going to go Paris Campbell there just because the other receivers are back. Kenny Drake or Sanders? They're my next. I have them neck to neck. Kind of actually like Drake, Jacob. I really do. Gut call. Who should I start my flex? A. Cooper, Tyler Boyd, Paris Campbell, or Foreman? I'm going to go Tyler Boyd, and I'm signing off, CJ. I want you to hold down the fort. I'll bring in Tony Pollard Day. There he is. Legend. Hags himself. I know you guys will crush the rest of the mailbag and the picks. But I do got to sign off at this point. So Wolfpack, the first time we've never made it through all the questions. That means you guys are the best for getting in and getting so many questions to us. I apologize. You know I love and try to pride myself on getting to them all. But, man, we just got so many today, so many great super chats to spend our time with. So apologies in advance. Best of luck. And, again, for you guys out there, please do hit that thumbs up button as our guys wrap up the show here. Sub if you haven't already. We'll be back at 7:30-ish, 7:45-ish to recap it. And my boys got you covered here rest of the show. Thank you guys again. Cheers. Best of luck in week 11.
What do you have, a webcam on top of your computer?
No, the StreamYard doesn't work on Safari or whatever I have on my Mac, so I have to do it on my fucking cell phone.
All right. We need to. What?
Go ahead.
Speak.
I was just going to say I'm Tony Pollard Day because if you use PrizePicks, he's at 53.5 yards for the whole game. And I think that's a fucking steal. I'm having a deposit.
We also need to rip through 70.
I know. Go.
All right. Allison Muccini, happy Sunday, guys. Full PPR, AJ Brown, Rondell Moore. Can't say AJ Brown. Dan Dwyer, good morning, gentlemen. PPR, James Conner, Cooks, Brian Robinson.
Probably Robinson.
Yeah, I love that matchup there. I'd probably go Connor myself.
Yeah.
C. Woodsy, who do I bench? Sutton, Jacoby Myers, Mike Williams, Garrett Wilson. I know you're on the Broncos today.
Yeah.
I'd probably sit Garrett Wilson. I think I was good.
Yeah. What is Mike Williams' status? Is he going to be limited, or did he practice in full yesterday?
He always murders the Chiefs. I'm fine with Mike Williams. If he's playing, he's playing.
Okay. Yeah.
Vitamin Mateo, Kittle versus Njoku, full PPR.
I would probably go Kittle.
I know it sounds like such a cop out.
I know. I would want to play Njoku, but like
honestly, I think I'm going Njoku full PPR
just to see. Like I don't know.
NJ Mueller, how about Drake or Connor?
Oof, these are good. These are like fucking close. Is it if it's PPR? Do you go Connor?
Yeah, full PPR. I'm going Connor. Everything else, I'm going Drake. I think.
Drake, yeah.
Fat Mateo Sly had 19 last week. This is our kicker portion. We just love kickers all of a sudden.
We love kickers.
We're going Terrell, Tulleton, Sutton, or Toney.
I'm big on Toney too, like the Wolf.
Yeah, I'm with you. Dan Heggs, first out PrizePicks because
that's the winner.
That's where it is.
We'll get to that.
Also, you guys can stay for the World Cup picks because those are all locks. So
yeah, we'll go to those too.
215 Eagles, Cooper, Devonta Smith, Toney, Mike Williams. Sit one of these. I'm sitting Devonta.
Yeah.
Terrell, Tulleton, Pierce at Pacheco. Pierce, you can't sit
Pierce. Yeah.
Pierce is locking every single one.
Pacheco's still up in the air. You don't know. And
no more kicker questions. Love riding them fast, especially in the dome. Campanelli, Saints, Broncos, Steelers.
Saints.
I love the Saints this week.
Yeah.
No cup. 215 Eagles, Foreman or Pacheco?
Pacheco.
Foreman's
Jared, 60 yards today.
Debo's losing targets, and Amari Cooper had to pick up Peoples. Yes, sir. I love it.
Peoples not doing too bad. He's averaging like 70 a game or something.
And he gets Watson back in 2 weeks. Bo, we starting Fields over Hurts yet? Not yet, but hey,
Hurts doesn't run the ball anymore. Hurts does not run the ball. Hurts has had less than 20 rush yards in like 5 straight weeks. It drives me nuts.
His under PrizePicks of 41 rushing yards today. Bo has Allen. He started Fields over Josh Allen. I would not do that, especially in the dome. Not today. Don't get too cute there, Mr. Jarrett. Lalo, Sandala, Good Morning Buds, Mike Williams, Rondell Moore, Devonta Smith, Keenan Allen, Marquise Willis.
2 wideouts and a
DJ
flex.
Moore, I need 2 receivers of flex. Pick 3 of these. Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Rondell Moore.
Yeah, Rondell Moore. If Hollywood's out.
Hollywood's out.
Yeah.
Niners worldwide. Is Montgomery worth playing, or should I use Cook and Sanders and flex Toney and Debo? Monty can be sketchy.
I would go Sanders there because he always fucking vultures touchdowns from Hurts too.
Love that. Show some confidence. Ball glove blueprint. What else do we need to start? We need to see to start Ayuk over Samuel in PPR leagues. I said that earlier. Ayuk's the better receiver than Samuel. If nothing, then why aren't the media fantasy homers getting on board? Well, we're not media fantasy homers. I suggest Ayuk over Samuel. I think it's better receiver. Yeah. Jared, I picked Peoples Jones over Mike Cooper because Brissett isn't throwing to Cooper, and they're on the road, which means DPJ is the road wide receiver 1 in that weird offense. Patrick Raymond, Njoku, or Greg Dulcich?
Joke.
I love Njoku this week.
Yeah.
Those apps, unbelievable. SGT stacking. What's up, gents? Need your advice. Pick 3 PPR. Cooper, Olave, Ayuk, Samuel, Williams. Probably Mike Williams.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I don't mind Olave today. I think he's gonna get peppered.
I'm locking in Mike Williams. We'll go Olave and Ayuk.
It's a toss up between
Debo
Ayuk
and Cooper. That's...
Debo's due, but I would probably go Ayuk just because it's gonna be safe.
Don Peoples Jones over 47 receiving yards. I agree with that. Jared, Jawan Johnson or Kittle losing targets because of McCaffrey.
Jawan's kind of hot, isn't he? He
is, but I'm still not sitting Jawan Johnson over. I'm not sitting Kittle over Jawan Johnson. I see the point, but I can't do that. Tim Grassick, Olave, Jacoby Myers, Olave.
Yeah.
Niners worldwide. He's playing Kittle. Good job. They're terrible against tight ends. That's
Yeah.
actually very true. Kittle has shown me nothing this season. We'll just let them talk to each other, and you talk to yourself.
Yep.
Peter K, Mooney, Slayton, or Duvernay. Gotta go Mooney there.
Yeah, actually, Mooney's kind of. I was looking at his shit earlier. He's more. I think he's more consistent, but yeah.
But he's got to get a piece of that electrifying offense. Nizer wise, blah 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 blah. They're all just talking to each other at this point. Don't know what's going on. Jared Zach Ertz is doing great for me at tight end every week. Now he's injured. Yes, he is. Mikey's asking Lamar or Fields. We actually had this question in our RSA group chat earlier. I'm going Fields myself.
Yeah,
no bias, of course. Fatty Mateo, my wife just heard Wolf say most of the Wolfpack tunes in to see the crack of CJ, and now she thinks I'm watching gay porn again. Then immediately after saying that, Wolf said, "Ooh, CJ, beautiful can."
Yep.
I do a great
He's
can.
a wagon.
Don't play Kittle against the 31st, blah, blah, blah. Niners, you're just talking to yourself at this point. Hopefully you're a Grant Cohn guy. Jared, is Mark Cooper going to get more targets than last week? Probably not, because he's a non-away guy. So we're just going to keep going with that weird narrative. JT Productions, when is Sit Starts and Settlers premiering? Need Wolves crossover content dishing picks while building cities. Settlers of Catan is for big nerds like Wolf. I don't dabble in that stuff. I'm an adult. I'm like Wolf. A Game, Grizzo, DPJ, or Swift? I can't start Swift.
Yeah, I would probably PPR. I'm going DPJ.
Jared Debo isn't giving me points in 3 weeks. I know because he's not there.
Yep, me neither.
All right, this conversation. DPJ or Jacoby standard. Standard, I'm going DPJ probably.
Yeah.
PPR, I'd go Jacoby. Patrick Reelman, Njoku versus Bills, or Greg Dulcich versus Raiders, and half PPR.
We already had that. I don't think they're joking.
I'm going Njoku myself. Tim Grassick, Pollard, or Olave in the flex. I heard Pollard's getting a bigger workload.
Pollard all day.
Yes, from Mr. Tony Pollard himself.
Tony Pollard day.
Am I crazy for starting Elijah Mitchell over Donta Foreman? No, because Foreman's going to get schemed up. SGT stacking Ebner is a sleeper. He kind of sucked in college. I'm not that big on him. I know analytics nerds like him, but I'm not. CJ by another CJ. Bye week Blues, happy PR. Start Wandale or Terrace Marshall.
Wandale, maybe.
Yeah, I prefer he's saying windy New Jersey already wants to start Terrace Marshall, so I'll confirm his thoughts.
Yeah.
Joella Booten, don't laugh. Mills or Heineke or Ryan to replace bye week Tua. I'm going Heineke. He's a lunatic. He throws deep balls. He has fun. He wears chains. It's cool.
Dude, Matt Ryan.
Probably Matt Ryan.
I think Matt Ryan's gonna throw for fucking 400 yards today. That's my bold prediction.
Love that
really
bold prediction.
But
Russo, Mooney or Brandon Cooks? Our guy Duck actually was high on Brandon Cooks in his receiver matchups, and so I'm right with that guy Duck. He's right about a lot of things, usually just running backs, but not receivers. Mario, CP, Njoku, Pitts, or Komet. Pitts sucks. Njoku. Thomas Medina, Gracias, Lobo. Yes, we love the Lobo. Denny Jenkins, McKinnon or Darrell Henderson rest of the season. Darrell Henderson stinks.
McKinnon, that fucking Rams backfield is miserable.
Yeah, it's only going to get more miserable. Andy Digler, half PPR, Wandale or Elijah Moore. I feel like Moore made. I mean, you can't trust Elijah Moore. He gets one target a week. He may blow up today, but I'm going Wandale until further notice.
Yeah.
SGT, blah, blah, blah. You, blah, blah, blah. Niners as well. Mario CP, Bills are tough. Yes, they are. Tough football team. Colton Man, hey, want to start Kadarius Toney? Should I have something for Debo, Sutton, or Tony Pollard? I'd probably go over Sutton if you're going to do that. Jeff Christmas, Burrow or Fields? Got to go Fields, ride the hot hand for a while. Sarno, McKenzie, or Dotson, half PPR? Got to go Fields, ride the hot hand. I'm going McKenzie myself. Jose Vega, Flex, Paris Campbell, MVS, Zeke, full PPR. Full PPR, I think I'm going Campbell, honestly.
Yeah.
MVS is way too sketchy. He's either 20 points or 0 points. He'll probably score 20 today. But I'm not trusting Zeke on his first game back. Andres Conklin or Njoku. Conklin did rip up the Patriots 2 weeks ago, but I'm going to Njoku. Omar Patterson or Foreman. I fucked this up last week. Go Patterson over Foreman.
Patterson, yeah.
First, our defense is, we already went over that. S-Mac, Elijah Moore, Foreman. In this case, I would go Foreman just because Elijah isn't the starting running back. So last week could have been a fluke, but I'm going Foreman for more guaranteed touches. Chris Thomason, how do you feel about Toney and Higbee? Love both of them. I know Wolf's really high on Higbee. We all love Toney. There's no one else to throw to in that offense. Fighting Mateo, it's all live. Campo, all love. It is all love. Niners. Damn it. I agree. TS, would you start full PPR? Brian Robinson over Jamal Williams and Mike Williams? Probably not.
I like Brian Robinson a lot today.
I do too, but Jamal Williams is the starting running back in Detroit.
Yeah.
Mike Williams, I would not. I love Mike Williams. DOMC, start 2 of these. He only gave us 2, so we're gonna start both of those.
Boyd Drake Montgomery? No, Boyd
Pineapples. Boyd Drake Montgomery.
Yeah.
Situation.
Boyd.
I'd sit Montgomery. Pineapples don't go on pizza. They actually do. I love Hawaiian pizza. Are you a Hawaiian pizza guy?
Of course you do. No, it's disgusting.
It's unbelievable.
It's not disgusting. I'll eat any pizza, but no, not my favorite.
I love Hawaiian pizza. Mike Williams or Toney? I have Olave. I'm going
Toney.
Mike Williams. I know you and Wolf will probably go Toney. I'm going Mike Williams.
Yeah.
S-Mac, get out here with the kicker questions. Flip a coin. That's true. I love kickers, but I don't like responding to the questions. Olave or Mike Williams? I'm going Mike Williams there myself.
Mike Williams.
Again. Denny Jennings. Hurts will run more than 50 yards today and a touchdown. Ooh. I don't know
because
hey,
no,
do you know
because
Denny
I said
Jennings? Do you know Denny Jennings? He's a lifelong Wolfpack guy. He actually got shot.
Yeah.
He got shot, and his wife had to comment in from the hospital. Unbelievable guy. Philly forever.
Yeah,
I also don't agree with this. I have his under 43 rushing yards. So.
Is it? Yeah, he's gonna. Hopefully, he does that because I'm starting him.
Tunes, Swift, and Stevenson, my running backs. I have Henderson. Should I pick up Algier? No, of course you're gonna go Swift and Stevenson. I'm not gonna pick up Algier over Swift or Stevenson. Actually, well, Swift sucks, but I'd still go Swift and Stevenson over Algier. Going Skoranek over McKenzie. Tunes, we already talked about this. You know, I love Skoranek today.
Yeah.
Stafford loves his white receivers. I like that over McKenzie. I don't care about how many yards you put up in college. Pineapples don't go on pizza. Should I start Pittman if you think Matt Ryan will go off? I don't think
Pittman hasn't scored since week 1. I can see that like they're gonna have to throw the ball 1,000,000 times to keep up with fucking the Eagles. So there's a chance he could have a good game. I have that dilemma right now too, but it's too late now. It's 1:02, but I was thinking about it. All
right, so as we just said, it's already past 1 o'clock, so everything's basically locked in at this point. PrizePicks. Hegs, do you have any 4 o'clocks, or are you mostly 1 o'clocks?
I have a lot for the Chiefs game just because that's like the only good teams playing this week. There's so many fucking shitty, like besides the Bills. Let me see.
The most important thing is that all of the World Cup started today. It actually is not locked until tomorrow because it's when the real games start, not Qatar and those other dumb teams.
There's a lot of.
I have a 6-piece World Cup that's going to win everyone $500.
Yeah,
so $20 to win $500 World Cup. That's what we're doing today. 1 second, I can find it.
Yeah,
we're going to go Kylian Mbappe over 3 goals.
You're going to post this in the chat because no one knows fucking names of these soccer dweebs.
Kylian Mbappe over 3 goals. Karim Benzema's out for France. He's the best, arguably a top 3 goal scorer in the world. He's out for France. Mbappe's going to pad his stats. They have 2 very easy games. He may get these 3 goals in the group stage. Neymar over 2 assists. People think he's going to score. No, he's actually going to assist because that front line is loaded. and that's what he does. He assists the ball. He's been unbelievable at PSG this year. Great form. Vinicius Jr. over 1.5 goals. He's going to be on the receiving end of those 2 assists. Phil Foden over 1 goal. Yes, I also do like Harry Kane over 3 goals, but I do like Foden to score at least 1, maybe a push, but he'll score twice just because that's average over 1 goal. Lautaro Martinez over 2 goals. Messi also is going to get a lot of publicity. Martinez is actually the striker there, and he's going to score more goals. He's going to score. Honestly, they're going to go deep. When you do these PrizePicks, you're going to want teams that go to the Final Four, go to the semifinals, go to the finals. Argentina's basically, they have the second highest odds. They're picked to go to the finals, but we'll see. But I'm going Martinez over 2 goals. And Darwin Nunez over 1 goal. He's going to get that probably the first game. They're just giving free money away at that point.
Yeah, I think he is too.
Love it. All right, now go for your 4 o'clocks, then we'll sign up.
All right, 4 o'clock. There's actually a good amount of them. Like I said, Tony Pollard is 53.5 yards for the whole game, and his first half is 26. I love both of those. His receiving yards 20.5. I think he's gonna smash that. Zeke sucks anyways, even if he's fully healthy. Let me see here. Adam Thielen over 46.5 receiving yards. I think he would hit that anyways, but we got a little turf toe action with JJ, so who knows? Maybe something will happen there. I like Thielen. TJ Hawkinson over 40.5 receiving yards. Love that. Another tight end, Dalton Schultz, over 41.5 receiving yards. He's killing it with Dak.
I feel like Schultz, I'd maybe go his fantasy score over 11.
Let me see what it is.
11.
Is it 11? Yeah, it is. Well, that's
you're basically picking him to score a touchdown, but I do like
yeah.
That.
Well, he'd have to get like 40 yards on a touchdown anyway, so
yeah, that's true.
41.5. Kadarius Toney is at 50.5. I think he's going to smash that. I already talked about Noah Gray, 13.5. That's like a funny one, but it's probably going to hit.
Probably gonna hit.
It'll probably be the only one.
What about his 1.5 receptions over 13, or is he just getting that 1 catch?
Is he at 1.5 receptions?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's probably just going to get 1 for like 17 or something. But who knows? Jerick McKinnon, though, I like his receiving yards, 26.5. He's averaging 36 a game, and it's going to be high scoring probably. I think he'll be involved, even though Pacheco is going to be getting some burn. CeeDee Lamb over 6 receptions. Hawkinson over 4 receptions. And this is for the night game. Travis Kelce over 6.5 receptions. Mahomes, this is a really good one. Mahomes, 316.5 pass and rush. I think that's
around like 30-ish rushing yards. So.
Yeah. And his pass yards are like 291 or something. So if he gets those 30 rush yards, it cuts it 10 yards. You know what I mean? So I think that's a good value play. Going back to the Dallas game, Kirk Cousins pass attempts over 34.5. I think he's 5 for 5 in the last 5 weeks of going over that. Let me check that. He's 4 for 5, but he threw 51 last week, 40 the week before. I think that's going to be – there's a lot of points in that game too, so I think he'll be throwing it. And finally, the one that's going to make or break me tonight, that is going to have to make me remortgage the house that I don't own. Austin Eckler, 5.5 receptions. I know Mike Williams and fucking Kenyan are going to be there, but
when they go down, but he's going to have 0 through 3 quarters, and he's going to have 6 in the fourth.
Yeah, and the final drive, he'll catch 3 and he'll go over. But I think 5.5 is low for him. He his last 5 weeks, let me see, where is it? 7, 7, 12, 10, 4. I know, like I said, Williams and Keenan Allen were out, but I think he can catch 6 balls tonight, and I think he will. Because he's not going to do shit on the ground, because he never does. But
Yeah, they just don't care about running the ball anymore.
yeah. But I'm
All
big
right.
on
You ready to wrap it up?
yeah, hopefully you guys put in that quick first half one so we can win a quick 200. Brian Robinson already has 1 yard, so we're on track.
They just had a pick 6 too, so it's gonna wait a little bit longer.
Who did? Houston?
No, Washington.
Oh shit. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Yeah.
Goodbye, everyone. Good luck on your games. The 5 people that are still watching us.
Yep.
Lovely. Have a great weekend.
Peace out.
And Wolf, tune in at 7:15 for the Wolf.